And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by... Nope.
That's right. We're back here with Soze.
The Maskers Massey.
And the Red Baron.
I'm going to start making up a nickname before the show.
Probably a good choice.
Shut up, Maz. No one asked you.
It really wasn't faced as a question.
He's shifting. A great deal of hostility between the Mass and Souls right off the bat.
It wasn't Souls.
Come down over there, Need for Speed Martin.
Hashtag Need for Speed Martin.
Are you going Need for Speed Martin tonight instead of Soulseye?
I'm not Martin. I don't even like that video game.
That's one of the greatest video games ever.
Well, that's how much you know.
This girl that I follow on Instagram that I went to high school with, she's posted a picture of her holding her baby up like in an apple grove, and I personally witnessed her drop her baby at a supermarket. So I could only imagine what happened to that child today.
My God.
So,
dude, the kid was like 4 months old, and she dropped him on the floor at a grocery store.
Yeah, you can never show your face there again.
You ever catch yourself saying like old school words that don't apply to our generation anymore? I said supermarket. That's not something our generation says. We say building with food.
Supermarket.
Did you see that Supermarket Sweeps is coming back?
Yes.
No, I didn't see that.
What
I
is
used to watch
that?
it as a kid. You remember there was like a game show where you used to like you ran through the grocery store putting as much expensive food in your cart as you could, and then there were like clues to find like bonuses.
That sounds like a really shitty Food Network game.
No, it wasn't. No, that was like an NBC game show. Like that was like a big thing.
The show you're talking about was a ripoff of that show.
Yeah.
Guy's Grocery Game.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
you talk about like prices, right? Yeah, they get the food prices.
No, you don't guess food prices. So like the teams get a cart. Like one person.
No, I'm naming the prices right game.
No, but like you two teams, so it'd be like Kendall would run through the store. I would never let Kendall be the guy that runs through the store. But like you'd run through the store and like you start putting. You can only take like X amount of so many items. Like you can't take all the hams, but like you can take 4 hams.
That's fucking bullshit.
And, like,
So, 4 fillets, 4 lobsters.
nah, see, that's where everyone gets all fucked up. First place I'm going is like the
Granola bar.
like the condiment aisle. I'm getting like 6 jars of ground mustard. That's like $8 a jar. I'm going to the peanut butter aisle and getting like all that Nutella and sunflower butter.
Probably a good choice. Are you allowed to just run down the aisle and just...
No, because you can only take so many at a time, and you can only put one item in your cart at a time. So like you can double hand and drop and drop and drop, but you can't just go scoop, scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time it was really funny. I remember watching it, and somebody threw like a huge 20-pound bag of rice in their cart, and it split open, and all the rice fell to the bottom of the cart.
And what was that bag of rice worth? $4?
No.
No, 20-pound bag of rice is worth at least $6.
Yeah.
See, I was making a joke, but like Rebecca was genuinely like, "Are you kidding me? It's at least $6." Like,
It's rice. It's fucking disgusting anyway.
you contemplated buying a 20-pound bag of
You
rice?
say rice is
No,
gross?
we didn't contemplate. We did buy a 20-pound bag of rice.
What the hell is the matter with you, souls?
Did you just fart?
What's the matter with me?
I have been, yeah.
I went to a college where all they did was serve rice, and it wasn't
All
very
right,
You
fair
bought
enough.
a big bag of
Fair
rice.
enough.
Maybe it's not 20
And they also
pounds.
they also gave us a lot of
It's like the same size as a bag of like rock salt, right? It's one of those.
Reusable
I was one of
chicken?
those. I thought, like,
contenders.
Like one of those Goya ones that's on my palate.
Dinner time.
these two conversations going.
All right, so we're
Could you
extremely
imagine
off
that
track.
if instead of buying rice,
having two
you
separate
accidentally bought like a
conversations.
bag of sand and you like dump it in the rice cooker? Like you don't notice the whole time.
Make concrete.
All right, so Toast of Excellence?
Nah,
No, starting lineup, dick.
Well, first of all, you gotta start with your fucking impossible gay over there.
Yeah, so
Are we
starting
starting
lineup, the Mass has an impossible Whopper. It's taunting me.
Just take the first bite.
It's funny too. It's got like part of the wraparound is kind of sneaking out.
Kyle, let me break down the inside of the sandwich for you as a Burger King employee. So,
Tell me how many pickles are on there.
all right, well, hold on. So, first of all, there is an onion off to the side of the sandwich in the wrapper. I remove the top. There are 2 slices of tomato. They are stacked one on top of the other all the way to the left of the sandwich.
Only way to do it.
Yep. Also, 2 onions stacked side by side on the same side of the sandwich.
Both
so as of
sides.
right now, the side closest to you has no vegetables.
That's absolutely true.
Just Impossible Whopper. Actually, pretty much no condiment either.
Did you get cheese on it?
There is no cheese. I'm sorry to be touching your sandwich with this mess. They just dissecting it. There's 3 pickles. 1 large pickle, 2 small pickles.
Assholes. Supposed to be 4.
So what comprises of a veggie burger?
Veggies.
But like what? Anything?
Corn's in there.
You want to take the first bite?
I don't want to eat that.
Just take a bite. See how bad it is.
I don't want that. I don't want it.
Just
But
try it.
It has nothing to do with wanting to try how bad it is. I just don't want it.
I know, but I brought it on the show for everybody to try it.
Why?
I don't want to do a gross shot, but I end up.
But like, here's the thing.
You won't do a gross shot.
I'm gonna move the tomato to the other
Do you
side.
not like tomato?
No, I don't like pickles, so I don't want to take a bite of the pickle side.
And I'm not eating that because it has mayonnaise on it.
Do you not like mayonnaise?
No.
Can you give us a smell profile?
Kyle, if I eat a piece of pickle, will you take a bite with the mayonnaise?
So.
I mean, all right, whatever. I've already had it, but I'll eat it again.
You know, it's funny. I'm getting kind of a stench now.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
As time has gone on.
Does it taste like like PB&J?
All right, update. I lifted it and it broke in half. It folded.
Not
and
circular
broken in
sound.
half. Just so you guys know, the inside here. I'll take a little piece out so you guys can see what we're working with here for the Impossible
Is that
Whopper.
carpet?
It might as well be. It's like
It's more cardboard than carpet. You know, the Texans have been in the red zone for like 7 minutes. Nothing has going on.
It's by far the driest thing I've ever eaten off of a grill.
It's probably been there for a while.
Well, like the Mass's technique. Just kind of like shifts it to the side and kind of goes for it. Mass, what do you think?
Oh, God damn it.
So what's the retail on one of these?
That's $6.
$6.
What?
Yeah.
It's healthy.
So if I get to choose between that and 2 spicy chicken sandwiches,
It's the same price. Why am I eating this? I had this before. I've worked.
Rebecca has to take a bite. It's the rule.
Yep.
Yeah, and I bought you a shake.
She's not drinking. If she's not going to drink it, can I have it?
Yes.
But I need the decision now. I don't want it to be completely soupy.
I need a vacuum.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a thorough cleanup down here.
No, we're good over here.
Well,
Just that
you know
guy.
what I mean.
Here.
It's not great.
I can try it right now.
Yeah, right this second.
Right this
I
second.
don't eat onions.
There's no onions
Oh my
on it.
God.
There are.
Just take a bite.
I don't eat mayonnaise.
It'll be
Rebecca,
over
just do
in a
it.
I
second.
took a bite of pickle. Just do it.
My God. Yeah, that's a pungent smell.
It's something, I tell you.
So I don't know if Mass is getting this, but I still taste the patty.
yeah.
Nothing else.
No.
No mayo, no lettuce, no bun.
Just the patty.
Just the patty. It kind of tastes like, you know how like when you make like grilled
Eat it,
chicken
lady.
or like a lower quality steak, and there's that tiny little piece of meat that hangs off the end that gets really, really burnt, almost to the point
Yeah.
where it's like that burnt French fry.
It tastes kind of like that.
Yeah, like you know, like the burnt French fry. DeAndre Hopkins scored a touchdown. How many yards are we talking? 2. All right.
That means Deshaun Watson threw it to him. I'm happy.
No, Deshaun Watson got taken off the field, didn't he?
No, I get him back.
So Rebecca, what's the verdict?
Not good.
Well, Kendall,
See,
you have to eat the entire thing.
yeah, you're left with it, so you got to finish it.
No shot.
Really? You're going to say no?
Kendall, if you don't finish that, we dump all the beer down here out.
Okay, I'm down by 20, so I have a chance.
What is this? Take it away.
See, I can understand if you're vegetarian why it's good, but
No.
No.
Hold on. It's not that you can understand why it's good. It's that you can understand why Burger King made it, so that there is a vegetarian option besides French fries.
yo, that Burger King down the street is fucking terrible, by the way, because everything tastes like it's been there for 6.5 months.
All right, let's do our starting lineups here. I'm drinking from the Machcine washable collection. Natagasseret Lager. Hi, neighbor.
Oh, what up, yo?
You're not my neighbor.
I know, I'm just the guy that lives upstairs.
No, you live like across the corner.
Well, I'm gonna go second. No, because best player.
I'm gonna lead off going second.
So I got from Black Hog, our boys up in where.
Oxford.
Thank you.
Up and you know where.
I'm drinking the Citra Seltzer India Pale Ale. It has a hint of raspberry and lime. Pretty good.
We're not doing reviews yet.
I already got to tell. They already know.
I am also having that. Thank you, Souls.
Mass?
From the Rocky Mountains,
What?
I'm drinking the Coors.
You know,
No, you're drinking Coors Light. not the Coors.
Light.
Don't confuse people with it being the banquet beer.
It's from the Ozarks too. By
You
the
know
way.
what? I wouldn't.
It's in the Rockies.
I wouldn't be mad
sorry.
if they renamed it Doug Course.
Of course.
Ah, god damn it, man.
I'd be mad. Well, they can't do that because it's not the official.
No.
It's not the official beer of the Chicago Bears.
Petite.
What is it?
Tutters.
Of course. Goose Island?
No,
What is it?
you think a craft brew is the official
Well,
beer?
I mean, I don't know.
It's obviously Milwaukee's best.
Is it obviously Milwaukee's?
It is not.
I don't know.
It's Miller time.
Oh, is it?
Not Miller High Life, but Miller Light.
No, that's all right.
It makes sense. You know, the Steelers got their own beer, and it's okay.
We're talking the Iron City?
Yeah.
That's not theirs. That's Pirates.
I think it's both.
No, I've never seen it at a Steelers game. Their beer is Yingling.
Well, we haven't gone to a Steelers game since
What's a
we tried
Pirates
that.
game?
Okay, but Iron City has definitely been around longer than we've been going to Pittsburgh.
Iron City Brewing.
Yeah. They make like they so all right. Imagine
try it when we get
imagine drinking like 20 Coors Lights, right?
Yeah.
And then you pee,
Yeah.
but you pee into a can, and then they seal it, and then you drink that.
That doesn't sound good.
No, but it is.
But it is. I've never had a shit beer that's tasted so different between draft and can. It was amazing. But
Does the draft taste better?
light years. Like light years better. But
We had a lot of it, too.
No, the
Oh,
Steelers,
that
the
patty
Steelers,
is still in my mouth. I hate
yeah,
that.
the Steelers are Yingling.
Is it?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I don't remember.
Pretty sure the Steelers.
I'll
are
find
Yuengling.
out in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
9.
I still haven't gotten the tickets yet.
Like, he got them, but
I bought them. I just haven't received them.
Wow.
No, it's Miller Lite of the Steelers.
Miller Lite is the official beer sponsor of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh.
But is it the official beer sponsor of all teams?
No, Bud Light is the
Yeah.
official beer sponsor of the NFL.
But what about each individual team? Could Bud Light just be the NFL?
Could you imagine?
That'd be so ridiculous.
Nike represents the NFL. Reebok jerseys for everyone. I miss the Reebok jerseys.
Me too.
You know,
I don't
I
think I
really
ever
want
ordered
to
a
drink
Rock
my beer because the taste in my mouth is not flattering.
Yeah, Toasted Excellence.
So
is
what did I hear? Round 2? Actually, Mass, could you take the patty and put it in the private stock? And then at the end of the show, we'll just eat it?
Oh my god.
I'd rather die.
All right, my toast of excellence is to the newly rekindled relationship between the Philadelphia Eagles and Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson passing Randy Moss for second all time. This is a stupid stat, but passing Randy Moss second all time for touchdown receptions of 50 plus yards.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, he's got 30. So Jerry Rice is number 136. I just like, it's a stupid stat, but it's like, it's not one of those stupid stats where it's all held by either stupid people or all really great people. Like, not that Deshaun Jackson's not a good receiver, but he's not Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. No one's going to even come close to saying that except for Deshaun Jackson. But like to be, that's like because we've had a lot of really like longevity type speed receivers. But Deshaun Jackson's just been doing it in and out.
Speaking of Deshaun Watson is in the medical tent. Looks like he hurt his back.
God, that happened like before when I told
No,
you.
he's
In it again.
Yeah, he's
That's
back
fine.
in.
That means Hopkins is getting the ball.
Who's their backup? Did we figure that out yet?
Max, you're on it.
Tom Savage?
He's in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. Tom
Why?
Savage,
I
though?
don't know why he has a job.
He deserves it.
You think that?
Wait, he's not in New Orleans.
He was.
No, because don't they have Bridgewater?
Yeah, I think they.
But I think Savage is still there.
They have 3 quarterbacks?
Tom Savage is a free agent.
Ah, damn.
But he was a Saint last year.
No, Bridgewater was.
He was he ended up on the Saints at some point last year.
Maybe when Bridgewater wasn't back yet.
Did Breeze get hurt?
Nah. I think they just kept him just to say they have Tom Savage.
Savage Nation.
Mass, can we stop talking about Tom Savage? I need to know who the backup for the Saints is. Or for the Texans.
Backup for the Texans, quarterback is AJ McCarron.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I can deal with that.
Gross.
Can you let me know when it's halftime, please?
It's halftime.
Is it really?
No.
I mean, it's very close to halftime.
Well, it's close in football minutes. It's very far in people minutes. Toast of excellence, Mass.
Malik Hooker for that fucking awesome interception against Phillip Rivers in the end zone. That
Did you see that?
one-handed
I did,
snap
yeah.
just grabbed it out of the air and just took off.
Someone on Instagram posted a fan view of it. It's pretty nuts because the guy was like, "Oh, touchdown! Oh shit!"
Guy sitting on like the second row.
Yeah, it was cool because like he didn't catch it and like do one of those like immediately like curl into the arms to contain it. Like he fucking caught it. He just caught it. Like it's just mine. It was more of a horizontal action mass. Don't do it though, because you're gonna accidentally punch the computer.
Exactly.
Souls.
Yeah, my toast of excellence is to Jason Witten. Took a year off, scored a touchdown. That's all he gets from me.
Okay, that's fine. Mine's to Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing a touchdown to his 800th receiver.
Was it 800? No. But he threw a touchdown to 8 teams now. He's also thrown 8 picks for.
Yeah, he
Also got beat pretty good yesterday.
Yeah. I liked how Rosen came in and completed one pass and got picked off.
I'm very excited about this year because it actually looks like this is the best rookie wide receiver group we've had in years.
I hope so.
Calm down. It's been 1 week.
But we will talk about it once we crack these.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you think of your beer, bro?
Well, it's a seltzer.
It's not a seltzer. It's seltzer style.
Can I try your souls?
It's good.
I went to the Black Hog. You've already tried it.
The Black Hog.
Dun, 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 dun. So.
Now, are we doing punishment
That's actually pretty good.
Thanks, man. I bought it myself.
What, for losing?
for losing? Are we doing that or no?
Did we do that last year?
Well,
I don't know
all
if
of
we
us
did.
lost but one person. So I think the one that won has to do it.
The victor has to do the shot.
It's up to you, dude. We got some Impossible Whopper or private stock.
Oh.
It has to be a big bite, too. None of that pussy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the Impossible. Let's do that. That's a great
I
idea.
think he's been balled up and put in his bag.
He'd rather do the I kind of just want a shot anyway.
That's you, dude. You're the team that won.
Has to do what?
The team that won, because normally we do a punishment for everybody that lost on Sunday, but when it's...
Did you just say that I get to decide what happens?
No.
Oh, all right, then I'm taking the shot. Fuck that.
How did the pickle end on the top of the burger?
I have no idea.
Well, he probably did something with it.
That thing is horrendous.
Wait, we won and I'm taking the punishment?
Yeah, because everybody else lost.
No, fuck you guys.
No?
Okay, first of all, watch your mouth with kids watching.
It's true. They could be. We have an explicit warning when we go live.
Third of all? Yeah, man. I thought we just did, like, the head-to-head matchups.
Oh, well, that's fine. I just wasn't sure.
What division do you guys play this year? NFC-wise.
Yeah.
What NFC division?
NFC West.
All right, so we got Steelers, Rams, Saints, Rams. Not that that matters, but because
It's not like he's going to be here.
Or Matt might not show up that week.
Bears, Saints, Bears, Rams, Bears, Giants. Fuck. Jesus.
We play the Giants too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Rebecca, did you even change?
Like, no, you don't.
I'm pretty sure we do.
No,
or
you
is it
don't.
next year that we do?
Well, regardless,
Mass is over here confusing multiple years schedules.
Because I was trying to think when the next time
We play the NFC East this year. We play the NFC East. We only play you because you finished 1. You're welcome.
I would like a shot anyway. So if we can make that happen.
All right, so might as well just get into it. Let's do some rapid fire recap.
That'd be rapid fire.
Bah.
It does because people don't come to us.
Rebecca.
We just. Yeah, they don't.
Well, we can rapid fire a few games.
You can rapid fire all of them.
All right, that's fine.
Do you have the scores?
Can you shut your whore mouth? You fucking
Didn't
you want me to
point 'em out?
dumb, you dumb
Well,
whore.
put it up on your thing so we can.
I got it right here.
stats.
I got it right here.
Oh, good job, Ken.
All right, so
I'll just
starting off the NFL's 100th season was the Thursday night barn burner between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears.
It was good.
The Packers won 10-3. Yep, it was a very good defensive game between both teams, but it was also very porous quarterback play. Rodgers didn't look like prime like he normally does. Trubisky looked like a backup that was never supposed to even be in the NFL. He played terrible.
He only eyed Allen Robinson.
Yeah, both head coaches made some very weird play calls, and
Which I'm okay.
what were like obvious run situations or obvious short yardage situations on the pass plays and whatnot. But overall, the Packers went into Chicago and got the dub. Like I said, both teams played very well defensively. Positive note for Bears fans: your defense came out and lived up to the hype against an elite quarterback and with an elite receiver.
Yeah. For sure.
He held Aaron Rodgers to 220 yards.
Yeah. And Riddler and I spoke briefly on the phone. It was just kind of one of those things, like, even though it didn't count, when you start off a game, when you kind of fumble, handoff, pitch, whatever you want to call it, it kind of sets a tone.
Yep.
You know, your rhythm just seems off. And
I don't know if they're I just don't know what they were trying to do. I don't know if like Nagy was trying to fool people, be like, oh yeah, we're let's keep saying we're high on Montgomery, and everyone knows about Cohen. Mike Davis for everybody. Like,
I said his name a lot. I was like, Mike Davis is out there, and he's not a bad back, but you have two other guys that are better than him.
yeah. Well, yep. We wanted to try.
I guess he was like going with like the hot hand.
are we going off your thing or my thing?
I just put it up for
Okay.
everybody. But.
All right, next, moving to the Sunday game. So we had the much anticipated coming out party for the Cleveland Browns. They just forgot to come out. The Cleveland Browns got stomped by the Tennessee Titans, 43-13. In that game, Odell Beckham Jr. did ball out a little bit. He didn't catch a touchdown, but he did get 71 yards on 7 receptions. Nick Chubb also looked good. Baker
Did not.
Yeah, I mean, well, Baker didn't look good, but his offensive line also was real trash in that game.
Yes.
It was really trash in that game. Mariota actually played mistake-free football. Derrick Henry had his day, and A.J. Brown just killed it.
You know what that means? Titans are going to go back to normal next week.
We're gonna what?
Go back to normal.
Yeah.
They do that. Like, they'll play a great game one game, and then the next game they'll be like, we're not going to score.
You mean like last time they blew out the Patriots?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. The game was fairly close for a while, and then the Titans just pulled away late.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield just
poured it
said,
on.
I'm going to throw some picks.
Yeah. Up next was the assault of Hurricane Baltimore on Miami. The Ravens went into Miami and just scored 59 points.
So, question: how much of that was the Ravens being good, and how much of that was the Dolphins being trash?
I think it's more the
Enough.
Dolphins being trash.
Who do the Ravens play next week?
Hold
Do we
on.
know?
I don't think it's going to be good.
Ravens next week. Cardinals.
Yeah, like I said, not every.
Week after that, Chiefs.
All right.
We'll find out in week 3.
Then the Browns. Then the Steelers.
Yeah, so we'll find out.
But still, I think it's a little half and half.
I mean, the Dolphins can't move the ball, and the Ravens still have a decent defense, a good defense.
Also, Will Lutz just missed his kick. God damn it.
Right, Kyle's trying to beat Rebecca, and that's what he needed. Up next was another kind of, I think, a big game everyone kind of had hyped up. Vikings-Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was more surprising to you? The lack of offensive firepower by the Falcons, or that Kirk Cousins didn't throw for 100 yards?
That one.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins only threw 8 passes for 98 yards.
That surprised me.
I mean, the defense played really well. I think they had like 2 picks, a forced fumble, and like 4 sacks. And Dalvin Cook, I think, had a pretty good day.
Because Kirk Cousins, to me, is a complacent guy. If he can hand the ball off the entire game and be effective, he'll do it. He's not a stat whore.
Here's the thing, in my opinion. I think that the Falcons just couldn't get the run game going.
No, they were flat.
So it was kind of just like, hey, Matt Ryan, try to make something happen against good corners, and he just couldn't do it.
They were shut out for how long? I mean, 2 quarters?
Yeah.
No, into the third quarter.
Into the third?
Was it?
Yeah,
The
I'm
whole
pretty
half
sure.
football, was...
Because
Yeah,
all
they,
these teams.
no, they didn't score till the 4th quarter.
So
It was 28-0. Dalvin Cook scored a touchdown, and then in the 4th quarter, Calvin Ridley caught a pass, and Julio Jones caught a pass, and then they failed both 2-point conversions.
You look at it. All these teams that didn't play anybody until week 1 showed that they didn't play anybody till week 1.
Rusty.
Like Julio Jones didn't play, and I think he had 3 catches. He had a touchdown.
Playing like a $66 million receiver.
he had close to like 6 receptions, but the point you're making is right. He wasn't
I
ready.
still make the argument that not playing in the preseason had nothing to do with Mr. Trubisky sucking. He just sucks.
I think like a lot of it has to do like the defenses in some games. Like
Yeah.
you don't play your starters, they're not going to get to mesh with each other.
Next up, we had the Battle of the Utes. The 2 teams hoping to get all their pieces in order for when Tom Brady retires in 2043. Bills defeating the New York Jets 17-16.
Which was just hysterical. Go up, 16-0 on the Bills, and then just have them stomp back and beat you at the end.
Well, what happened was that C.J. Mosley got hurt, and then
I know.
the Bills said, "All right, going up the middle now."
Yep.
That's all it took. And if he's out for a while, Jets are in trouble.
Yep.
Well, I think Sam Darnold played okay. Allen keeps getting a little bit better here and there. The defense showed that there's still a good defense, and he didn't have a humongous day, but he had a nice little debut for the Jets and Le'Veon Bell. I don't think there's any negatives to take away from this game because I think both these teams are teams that could potentially knock on the door at a wild card situation.
They're kind of like the exact same team.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Great, like really good defenses. Both young quarterbacks. Receivers kind of suck.
Okay, run games.
The Jets have a better run game, and the Bills have a little bit better of a defense. Yeah. All right, moving on, talking about blowing a huge lead. The Redskins fell short against the Eagles 32-27 after being up 17-0 in the closing minutes of the first half.
That sounds about right.
Carson Wentz captaining the team. 2 big days from his receivers, Alshon Jeffrey, and as aforementioned in the Toast of Excellence, Deshaun Jackson, who was like 140 yards, something like that. I have it here.
Most of which came on 2 passes.
Yeah, but hey, that's his game.
Yeah, 8 receptions for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. The leading receiver for the Redskins was McLaurin. He doesn't have a picture on ESPN. It just has a jersey that says 17 on it.
Which means he doesn't even exist. Right,
Yeah, he was like a 5th round pick this year.
I think the thing to take away from this game is because the Redskins. Because the Eagles were supposed to have this really good defense, and the Redskins, it's like, who do the Redskins really have?
Ryan Kerrigan, done.
No, on offense, I'm saying.
Right.
But like the Redskins were able to put up 27 points on what's supposed to be a very good defense. The Eagles, they started off sluggish, but they came back and Carson Wentz showed that he has a very good plethora of weapons when Ertz isn't the main focal point, which he wasn't. My big thing to take away from this game is that neither team could run the ball at all, which is more concerning for the Eagles than it is for the Redskins.
Yes. Plus, guys.
Little side note for fantasy owners: if you have Adrian Peterson, play him. Mm-hmm. Geis is down,
and he's out for a couple weeks at minimum.
Oh, I dropped him.
He didn't do anything. Anyway.
I left Jackson on the bench. I saw questionable before the start. Like, why risk it?
Questionable usually means they're playing.
No, I know that, but it's like I had healthy, better receivers. You'd think.
That's all right. I left Eckler on my bench in one of my leagues.
I left Sammy Watkins on my bench. That's okay. I still won. Next up, we had the Masses Rams of Los Angeles, the City of Angels, defeating the Panthers 30-27.
Did anybody watch this game besides me?
Yeah, I did.
I did not.
I watched Red Zone.
So the story of it was we can't stop the run. Cam Newton did not play mistake-free football. He looked lost for a good portion of the day.
Look, I don't know who anyone's kidding. The big takeaway from this game is that we got through week 1 and Greg Olson's still healthy. That's the takeaway from this game. Let's take away from this game. Do you have anything else to add?
Todd Gurley is fine. Done.
This is easing back, but he did look pretty good.
He played a quarter of football and got 100 yards.
He didn't play a quarter of football.
He barely played the first 3 quarters. He came in and played the entire 4th quarter, ran for 10 times, 11 times, broke off 2
He almost had
huge
100
runs.
yards. Really mad that he didn't.
He's fine. He's cutting fine. He could take the goal line carries. I'm just happy that we're starting to split it with Malcolm Brown.
I wouldn't. Fuck dickheads.
Listen, I have him in fantasy too.
All right, next up was the Jacksonville Jaguars defense getting thumped by the Kansas City Chiefs. Somebody not named Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill did all the damage, which is even scarier for those facing the Chiefs week in and week out.
Fantasy update, Tyreek Hill out for weeks.
Do you think this makes Patrick Mahomes second best quarterback in football?
Well,
Give him till halfway through the season.
What?
Because my question is, do you think that game he picked probably everybody says is a top 5 defense. He made him look silly.
well, I'm not ready to crown anything for anybody until a season is complete. And I will say that, though this is supposed to be a top 5 defense, but I will kind of stand by what we talked about a little while ago, was that shaking off, the rust from starters not playing and all that. I just think Mahomes took advantage of a rusty team and an offense that after... Well, I can't even say that because the backup that came in for Foles played decent.
Yeah.
So...
And he is a fucking champ. I love the guy.
So what are you asking? That if this game against Jacksonville, combined with everything he did last year, makes him the second best quarterback in the NFL? Second best behind who?
Brady.
I can't give it yet.
I can't give Brady being the best in the NFL. He's not the best quarterback in the NFL anymore.
I think he is.
No, I'm not saying it to shit on Brady. I don't think he's. I just.
All right, who's the best quarterback?
If Brady was the best quarterback in the NFL, why does he always get taken in the last 2 rounds of last?
It's
two
always a
rounds?
mistake because he always puts up fucking stupid amounts of points.
That's not true. He has plenty of games where he doesn't put up a lot of points. There's plenty of games where the Patriots go out and rush for 200 yards and he throws 1 touchdown.
Well, that's the reason, because they game plan to who they're playing.
Right, but
We'll talk about it in a minute, but...
Right, I understand what you're saying, but no, I don't. I don't, because Brady is not, he's not shaking off tackles and scrambling for extra yards.
He doesn't need to, though. His quick release is what has kept him in the game so long.
Just who's your one?
Probably my number one. Probably Breeze.
All right.
I mean, Tom Brady is.
I won't fight you.
Well, I think we're blending historically versus...
Right, you guys are talking about a career. Yeah, he's the best quarterback of all time, but you're going to tell me that Tom Brady is the most talented quarterback in the NFL right now?
The only thing he can't do is catch and scramble.
I think Brady is incredibly consistent and just an absolute ace at his craft. But as far as right now, he being 41 or whatever in his career, kind of in the twilight. And
so you would take Brady over any other quarterback in the NFL? If the Rams were like, "Fuck you, Goff, we're done with you," Mass, pick a quarterback to play for this team. You're picking Brady over anyone else?
Can I have 5 seconds to run through the NFL real quick?
Yeah, go.
can I have 5 seconds?
3, 4, 5.
I'd either take Brady or Mahomes.
So Breeze is off the table for you entirely?
If I got to choose my
So you think Brady and Mahomes right now are better quarterbacks than Rodgers and Breeze?
Yeah.
So
I do think Tom Brady's better than Breeze.
Keep in mind what Mahomes did last year was great, but Breeze does that every year.
I know.
Every year.
I think Brady's better than Breeze because he doesn't turn the ball over as much.
I can understand that, but...
And he wins more.
I can't get behind Brady being the best quarterback. I mean, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, but I don't think he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
I can understand Breeze. I can see Breeze.
But you both think Mahomes is better than Breeze and better than Rodgers?
If you had to ask me who I'm taking
Right now,
at this
yeah.
moment right now, yes, it would be one of those two.
Right now, I do.
All right.
But Gardner Minshew, though, is going to be up there soon.
Hashtag Tom Savage.
22 for 25, 2 TD. Not bad.
Chargers.
Not a bad performance.
We fucking already went over that. Chargers beat the Colts in overtime, 30-24. We talked about the Malik Hooker one-handed interception.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson made Melvin Gordon's holdout look foolish. He fired his agent.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
The Colts didn't look as lost as we thought they'd be offensively without Andrew Luck.
No,
Jacoby Brissett played decent.
Yeah.
And Marlon Mack had a very good game. Kind of a coming out party for him, really, because he didn't really do much last year.
I think Brissett's only going to get better.
They extended him. And he did it without an agent. Did it by himself. He negotiated it by himself. So I was very happy to see Brissett get the extension. It's nice to see that a team's going to just, they believe in the guy that they brought in.
Yep.
So yeah, my thing to take away from that is I think really what you can take away from this game is that the Colts' offensive line still looks good, and the Chargers are going to miss Derwin James a lot.
Yes.
Up next was what's supposed to be worst team in the AFC, Cincinnati Bengals, losing by 1 point to the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
Yeah.
Who is that more of a defamation on? Is that the
Seattle still don't have an O-line.
No, there's no... The Bengals, it doesn't matter what happens to the Bengals. No one's expecting the Bengals to do anything. I mean, they have Joe Mixon, but A.J. Green didn't play. Their defense is not even close to what it used to be. They don't have any other real weapons. Nothing proven anyway.
No.
So, I mean, no one expects the Bengals to do anything. You don't expect a team that's as porous as they are offensively to come into Seattle and almost walk out with a win.
But Dalton had a day.
Dalton did 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, 400 plus yards.
That just means I I think the front for Seattle's good because they forced 3 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can block them, you can throw all over that defense.
Yeah. Up next was a Dallas Cowboy thumping of the New York Giants. Zeke, kind of funny though, like the whole holdout. Zeke didn't really do much in the game. The Giants actually, I wish Mock was here because it'd be great because he got spanked by Dak. The Giants got spanked by Dak, not Zeke.
Perfect passer rating. Sure, he's worth the contract he's about to
Eli
get.
and Barkley. I mean, the defense played well in terms of covering the, if you want to call it a NFL receiving core, what the Giants have, and you know the secondary played well, but it's not like they were in Eli's face sacking him every 10 seconds. It's not like they were forcing 4 or 5 turnovers. Eli looked pretty good, in my opinion. We talked about that. I think Ingram looked pretty decent in his first game. Is kind of like the main guy. Barkley had over 100 yards rushing. But Dak just lit it up. Dak found targets, and he involved everybody that was running a route. I think Gallup had over 100 yards. I think Cooper had over 100 yards. Yep. Witten had a couple targets and a touchdown. Jarwin had a touchdown. And who's the other? They have another receiver. Cobb had a touchdown, too.
Out of everything,
everybody but Gallup caught a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
This just showed that Dak just earned the contract that Jerry is about to give him next week. Dak is playing like a quarterback that deserves to be extended.
I don't think this game. I don't think his performance in this game, whether it was what it was or as porous as it could have been, I don't think it changes with the contract. You know, I've seen a lot of stuff like, did Dak just make a case for the contract he wanted? It's like the contract's the contract. The number wasn't going up or down.
It's just a matter of how quickly they're going to get done.
You can't expect You can't expect that the Cowboys are going to give him more money because he went out and had one good game, just like you couldn't expect him to ask for less money if he went out and had one bad game.
Right.
There is one thing though: the Giants' secondary is not very good.
No. the whole defense is just not very good.
Name me 2 big names on that defense. I'm legitimately curious because I don't know 2 big names.
Alec Ogletree
and Jabril Peppers.
If those are your 2 big names, I'm a little worried.
Coming from the guy who was like preaching Alec Ogletree like 5 years ago. We had our first tie.
We won.
Lions and Cardinals. Kyler Murray came back down 17, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
The youngest quarterback in the NFL throwing a touchdown to the oldest receiver in the NFL. I don't know if either of those are true, but it's pretty close. Yeah. I mean,
fairly accurate.
But this game, I mean, to me, it's more of a disappointment on the Lions' end.
For blowing it.
Right. Not for blowing it. It's just
you should be able to go in there and beat the Cardinals,
especially when Matt Stafford doesn't throw a pick.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't close, and you know
Kerryon Johnson didn't have a good running game. They featured T.J. Hawkinson, which was great, but nobody else really.
Galladay had a couple big plays,
but I mean, Arizona was missing its 2 starting corners. How do you not go in there and put up at least 30?
Why? The Lions receivers are a bunch of number 2s.
Even so,
if you're number 1 and number 2, you're going to get shut down by the number 1 corner.
Yeah, they didn't have either of their number 1 corners.
Yeah, but the Lion being a number 2 receiver on a Lion is being a 3 on most other teams. Not everyone can have fucking Cup, Cooks, and Woods.
Yeah, we have
Woods is overrated as garbage anyway.
I'm gonna fucking punch you in your face.
You can. He's not as good as Cooks or Cup, even close.
Who are you talking about?
Robert Woods.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks is better.
Way better. Again, this is coming from the guy that thought Chris Givens was going to be huge. So
we'll get into it later.
And then the final installment of the day games was the 49ers trampling the Buccaneers. Jameis Winston showing everybody, doesn't matter who coaches me, I'm throwing picks.
That game was just weird.
It wasn't. Neither team played good. Neither of them
played well.
Whatever.
Well, they both exchanged a pick 6, I believe.
Yep.
It's funny, Garoppolo, if you want to say he heated up, if he did heat up, it wasn't until like the very end.
I don't think he's a good quarterback.
Garoppolo, yes, he is.
I mean, he seems to be efficient, when he finally gets going.
But it takes him the entire game.
Well, yeah.
He looked shook by a Tampa Bay defense.
But think about it. It's his first game since he tore his ACL.
A year. It's his first game in a year.
And by the way, if you're Latavius Murray fucks, he just scored.
Fuck.
30-yard touchdown.
How about this, too? I mean, Kelsey had 88 yards, but no touchdowns, only 3 receptions. Pretty quiet day from the 3 tight ends everybody was jumping to get in drafts. Ertz, Kittle, and Kelsey all relatively quiet days. I mean,
You don't have the biggest day for a tight end?
Delaney Walker.
Yeah. Fuck you.
George Kittle had a couple really nice pass catches. They just got negated by shut up. They just got
The guy who's defending Robert Woods pass catches.
He pass caught that one.
Did you see that touchdown return on the kick catch? Guy's the best kick catcher in all of NFL right there. Yes, sir, Bob.
You sound like a fucking 30-year-old doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
My son plays the football. I don't
Every
understand why
single
they call
one
it
of them
that.
was taken back by penalties, though. Every single one.
I'm confused. Go back.
Kittle had some really good catches.
But they were all taken back by penalties. Speaking of penalties, Steelers, Patriots.
So that game sucked.
I talked to
Depending on who you are.
Pretty exciting to watch 4 offensive linemen move before the ball was even snapped. I mean, not even move. They were back about 5 yards.
They were not prepared enough for that game.
No.
And if Mike Tomlin has another game like that, I want him gone.
That was the worst Steelers game I've ever saw in my life.
I
And
do not think Mike Tomlin's a good head coach.
What's going on with the fucking words today on the show?
I know.
Fucking pass catch. Fucking worst team I ever saw. Like, but you didn't say it like that. You said this is the worst Steelers team I've ever saw.
I thought it was a Steelers game.
This is the worst Steelers game I've ever saw.
Yeah.
Either way, it's incorrect.
Well,
But either way,
ever watched.
if
Scene
you go
would
and
have
you're
been
facing the
appropriate.
fucking Patriots, you know how to play him. You play him every year.
You know, one big thing, and now we did have, Sean Davis was out, whatever.
I thought I would say I want him back in the lineup.
A big thing I took away from, you watch, like, the running backs, they're in motion before the play starts, and you're watching the defender, like, light years behind in the movement, and then Brady's just going to hit him on the swing pass. Like, no matter who you are, what team you are playing, you got to be, if a player is moving, you got to move with him. You can't just wait to, like, let's see what develops.
The Steelers did this game, the game plan in this game, like last year. They tried the same exact play throughout the entire game, and it didn't work. Spread it open.
Yeah, and I love Roethlisberger. I respect his game a lot, but
How much?
6 out of 10.
well, more than that. But I think at some point you got to throw the ball beyond the markers. It's like you can't be this little cutesy. Oh, let's see the receiver do all the work. Be a quarterback.
But here's the other good thing about this. It's week 1. You go back a few years. They suck week 1. They've always have. They usually lose. Okay? They always suck on the road. Am I right?
Nobody ever does good in Foxborough either.
So, we take this game as a loss. I really do think that they come back pissed off and hungry for next weekend.
I hope so.
And maybe Sean Davis is back.
And I was very excited about Moncrief, and he did not look good. Now, it's only one game, and I hope he kind of figures it out, because that's actually the one guy I was really excited about going into this year was him. Because I thought he could break it open. But got a slow clap from the Riddler.
The newest WWE 24/7 champion, Ennis Cantor.
Did you really?
Yup.
That's so
Are they in
ridiculous.
Boston tonight?
No, they're in Madison Square Garden, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
God, you play for the Celtics.
That's fucking awesome.
He's going to lose by the end of tonight.
I hope not. I hope he wears it in games.
And he gets beat by all of his teammates.
Imagine this thing cycles around other things now.
Would be cool if they go to Boston.
Yeah, I like how Rebecca's fucking watching Raw and doesn't think that's important enough to, announce
What?
She didn't even know who
that an
that is.
NBA player won the 24/7 title. I'm not even a Giants fan. I like the Steelers. You're not a Giants fan. Rebecca's not a Giants fan. You're as much of a Giants fan as Kendall is a Knicks fan.
I bleed blue and orange.
No, you don't. Yeah, Mets.
Bears.
Yep. And Bears.
Keep it going. You're up. You're up.
Islanders.
What am I up for?
Name a team that's blue and orange besides the Bears, the Mets, and the Islanders. Can't use the Knicks.
5,
Is there another team?
4,
It's up to you.
3,
Yeah,
2,
there is.
1.
It's called the Oilers.
Bingo. Broncos would have been an acceptable answer.
Yeah, man.
I don't think there's any other baseball teams, though.
What's the Houston hockey team?
Well,
Astros.
Islanders?
Yeah, I was thinking like the light blue, like the lighter blue. They're technically navy blue. What?
Islanders?
The Texas Islanders?
No.
I literally
switched
just
to-
said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
You said Texas, though.
I did. I was saying,
The
what's
Texas Islanders?
I said, what's the Texas hockey team? And then what about the Islanders?
Nah, you didn't. You said, what's the Texas team? And you're like, is it the Islanders? Because, the island of Texas.
Well, they're the Dallas Stars, but they're green.
Mm-hmm.
And I like playing with them in hockey games.
He also really enjoys playing with the Ducks
I do.
for the throwback jerseys. He also likes playing with the Hurricanes for the throwback jerseys. He's going to like playing with the Coyotes this year as well.
Why?
Look up the Coyotes jerseys for this year. You're going to be a big fan. Big fan. Large
Are
fan.
they maroon?
They're kind of actually the same color scheme as almost like the Diamondbacks, like that Diamondbacks team.
Yeah.
But you like the mascot a lot.
Change the mascot?
No, it's a throwback. It's yeah.
Oh, the Edmonton Oilers.
You already said that though.
I know.
But they're not in
I know.
Texas.
I thought they were, but they're not.
Edmonton, Texas.
I didn't know it was Edmonton.
Thinking about Houston Oilers.
First of all, stop yelling at him.
Thank you.
By the way,
Such hostility.
I might buy that jersey.
The Coyotes.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope, right?
Yeah, I'm all about that. He's so cute.
All right, we'll finish
so
with a recap. Let's go to break real quick. We'll come back. We'll talk.
Tampering.
I did want to talk about Brown, but we'll,
Yeah, Kendall's got his own. It's not even a gripe. Kendall has a statement to make.
Right.
He feels that he's been wronged by the media.
That's right.
So we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Enjoy yourself some tone lock.
Tone lock.
That's what it says right there. Tone lock.
Well, it's a Tone Lock radio.
Oh, okay, fine.
It's Tone Loke.
Who the fuck is that?
That's a wild thing. Bam, bam.
Wow, dang.
He looks like a wild out.
You know the guy that
version of
sings
Ludacris.
Funky Colt Medina?
Fuck off, souls. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by Nope.
No.
No.
I know what that's from.
No.
C.
Thank you. You don't know what that's from.
From C or no?
What? It's first of all, it's an ocean.
Ocean View.
Christmas sweater.
Only Paul knows what that's from.
Amelia's 4.
Amelia's 4.
Kyle's also 4.
I'm 4.
That's the guys who play baseball, softball.
Christmas sweater. They also play baseball, you dick, and basketball. They're not good at basketball at all.
What is their name?
Dodger Films. And that's not their names. That's Bobby Crosby. That's
They
the
had
main guy.
2 guys that are okay at basketball.
Yeah.
And Dustin's not very good.
No. So who's the other guy then?
Name
Jack.
dropping.
And who's the other guy?
Dustin.
Spidey Bombs.
Spidey Bombs.
Spidey Bombs.
He's just a Shaquille O'Neal.
I got this.
I got this.
I got this. We should stop doing this. You can tune into Mine and Soul's private podcast, Getting Films with Dodger. Duck.
Just those references over.
Duck Dodger Films?
We can do
We
that.
do the same thing they do, but we get a bunch of ducks.
All right, I'm down.
That's my duck. What'd you
That
think?
was Duck for Fuck You Souls.
It's Quack, by the way.
They don't say quack.
Well, they don't say anything.
Right.
Quack.
I've always
Have you
wished that.
spoke
I always
to
wish that they're like, could you imagine just going into a farm and you look at a cow and it just goes moo, or like you walk into your house, dog's just like woof, but just like that woof,
Woof.
woof.
Wow, that was so predictable.
How many times are the Saints this season, you think, going to use that other quarterback on some sort of gadget play?
Taysom Hill?
You thinking like north side of 30?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Big time.
He doesn't really ever get big plays. It's just like, what's the fucking point? You know what I'm fucking saying?
You know when he's in, he's
running
running
the
the ball.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, do you guys like the 2 games on Monday night?
It's funny that you say that, because my dad called me today. Kyle was in the car. He goes, can I ask you a question? I'm like, a stupid question. I was like, better than anybody I know. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not the stupidest person I know, Rebecca.
You're top 5, though.
Dumbest girl I know. And transgender person. Pre and post-op. But, no, he goes, why are they playing 2 Monday night games? Dad, they've been doing this for
Forever.
like 15 years. He's like, no-uh. All right. What the fuck are you...
I was saying, put it full screen.
don't you put your face full screen?
Yeah, dude.
What if I could?
I like it.
Suck my dick.
So if this was an option for every week,
No.
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 So you just like how the week one is kind of like this.
Yeah, I like how the week 1 has 2 Monday night games. You know why they do it, right?
I do not know.
It's a contract.
What is it?
They have to have 17 Monday night games.
Ah,
And they don't play Monday night games the last week of the season.
I never knew that. I just was like, hey, let's just do it to be fun.
What if they put everybody on Monday one week and just said, fuck you guys?
But can you imagine if every NFL game was played at the same time on Saturday at 1 in the morning?
Oh, God.
10 o'clock Western time.
See, imagine if the NFL did it like a high school basketball tournament.
It's like,
So it's like after this game, like the other teams come in and start playing their game. And like you just like, and in the crowd, DeAndre Hopkins is watching.
they're changing over like logos as the games are going.
No, they wouldn't do that. It would just be 2 ends. It would just say NFL.
NFL.
And, Kendall had a coach. Kendall had a professor that said the NFL would be non-existent in the year.
God, I think it was 2049.
He also said McDonald's would be eradicated
around that same time period. I wrote it down in a notebook. Gotta find it. But a pretty bold claim.
Let me tell you something. If it's true, that guy should be executed.
Well, it doesn't matter to you. As long as, if you're dead before that, what do you care?
Will I be dead by then?
2049? Yeah.
What year were you born?
48.
93?
48.
Go to deathclock.com and tell me how long I got.
That'd be 55 years.
That's fine. Go to deathclock.com for me.
He doesn't care how old. He wants to know how.
I hope it says 1950. That way we could just be like, Souls died because no NFL.
My birthday is March 31st, by the way. My weight's 220.
These are all important things.
So I actually don't know your birthday.
I just said it.
What was it?
March 31st. I am a
No,
smoker.
his birthday, his birthday's 220, and he weighs 331. He weighs 331.
Are you normal, pessimistic, sadistic, or optimistic?
I don't know. Pick one. I'm all
Pessimistic.
4.
Nah, you're a pessimistic motherfucker.
All right, then that one.
Are we really doing this right
Do
now?
you smoke?
Yeah, technically.
True.
Yeah.
Check your death clock.
How many seconds do I have?
What's this tomorrow?
You'll die Thursday, April 20th, 2034.
That's not that far.
I'm going to die soon.
He picked up his phone.
Let me check my pocket calendar.
All right. I'll be dead 15 years before they even happened. I'm good.
Unfortunately, the Steelers' last season will be 3 years before that.
Jesus, man. Come on, death clock.
They're gonna get sold to Baltimore. When Baltimore sells to Cleveland, then we have 2 Cleveland Browns.
Right, Jeff's
It doesn't
That's gonna be the
say
Baltimore
say
Steelers.
how you're going to die, though. That's
It's
the
fine.
only
Jeff's
funny
dying
thing.
on Christmas.
All right. So Souls, I know that you and Kendall have, and Mass, if he wishes to join. I know you guys have some things you'd like to say about the most recent free agent acquisition by the New England Patriots.
Yeah, fucking bullshit like that pass to fucking the quarterback. But anyways,
God damn it, Taysom Hill.
so do you want to kick it off?
I'd like to kick it off.
Guys, just real quick. We literally prefaced the beginning of this hour before we came on air that we were not going to do any calling of the game. It's simply on to watch. So
I didn't say what happened.
we're not trying to get shut down here.
So,
You said Taysom Hill,
I said, God damn it, Taysom Hill. I didn't say what happened.
but you chimed in with him. You guys are both fined.
that's fine. I'll give you
Buy the
20 bucks
lead.
tomorrow.
What? All right, so go ahead.
Yeah. So as the Riddler mentioned, and everyone knows by now that Antonio Brown does no longer play for the Raiders.
He never played for the
Never
Raiders.
played for the Raiders and is now part of the New England Patriots. They cut him on, I believe it was Saturday or whatever it was, and he was signed by New England very quickly. Now, I just find it to be very convenient. Now, I thought that even before the media said it, so it's known, everyone in the world, I was the first person in the world to think it.
I said it in the group chat.
Oh, but I thought it way before that. I think it's very odd, everything, the way he acts and all that, and then he ends up on a team that wanted to trade for him originally. It's bizarre to me, and I think it doesn't seem right on both parties for him trying to intentionally be cut or whatever. and New England being able to, snatch him up right then and there, and he fields no other offers or anything like that. It seems funny to me. So I guess that's all I'm going to say about that for right now.
The league already said they're not investigating it.
Well, that's fine.
I read something earlier today that it can be a legal issue, and if they find Brown guilty, he could do jail time.
Guilty of what?
I don't actually know. It's a whole article. I don't know what it was for, but they said he could do jail time.
Yeah,
Was it for using Gruden's recording?
No, it's the other way around. I think Gruden was using his recording.
I don't know what we would.
Because I think Gruden did I don't know what happened. But
Antonio Brown released that hype track with Gruden talking to him on the phone. And in the state of California, that's a two-party consent state. If Gruden didn't know about it, that's illegal as fuck.
then maybe that's what it was.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's very convenient the way things kind of unfolded.
What should have happened was the Oakland Raiders should have never released him and said, "You're not playing."
They should have just sat his ass on the bench.
Keep finding him.
You don't have to. They voided his guarantees for conduct detrimental to the team. He is guaranteed no money at that point and is not entitled to release. Sit his ass on the bench.
He's a little bitch that got his way.
But why, though? I mean, everyone's trying to shit on the Raiders, and it's because they got duped and this and that and the other thing. But why would you keep him on the bench? Why would you even he probably wouldn't show up to games. He probably so
you're not paying him for it.
But why even keep somebody? You just said it yourself. He was stripped of his guaranteed money due to actions that were detrimental to the team. He had a borderline physical confrontation with the general manager of the team, and was bad-mouthing the coach and everything, this, that, and the other thing. Why would you want to keep somebody associated with your team that's doing that to your team? Why would you want to do that? Even if you're not paying him, why would you want to do it? At that point, you're just you're contractually keeping him around to just badmouth you guys and bring negative media attention to your team. A team that's getting ready, that's getting poised for a big geographical move, and is trying to turn their shit around. I wouldn't want anything to do with it either.
Yeah,
I'd want him gone.
It's interesting, and I don't know how it kind of works, with the contracts and whatnot, and if anything could have happened, how no trades were explored, I guess is what I'm going to say.
The only thing that I would point to a collusion type thing or something like that in my mind would just be the fact that there's evidence between Hard Knocks and his Instagram and social media and all that stuff of Antonio Brown being excited to be a part of the Raiders, and then just all of a sudden, let's do the Helmick grievance, and all of a sudden he was just this. He started up the atrocities of not wanting to be a Raider anymore. There was the videos of his kids at training camp with him. Where's Ben? Ben plays for the other team. Derek Carr's our quarterback now. We like Derek Carr. And when he first initially got traded, going out and buying custom-made brown gear for the Raiders and having black and silver and stuff like that. So there was evidence more or less of him being excited to be there. Now, could it have been a front for whatever? Who knows? I mean, the thing is this whole the whole collusion thing really it stems from because of where he went. That's the only thing. He went anywhere else, this wouldn't even be an issue. The only two teams he could have gone to, and there would have been some red flags being thrown around, is New England and Pittsburgh. That would have been it.
Now, I do agree with you, Riddler, that because it went to New England, that a team that is so good and there's always that shadow of doubt because of just everything because they're so good.
Well, they have a history of issues. Right. They have a history of cheating, misconduct issues.
But I think I would have a problem myself, no matter what team, because of how fast it unfolded.
Well, there was no time that he could have signed by 4:00, which happened. But it's just ironic that it was New England.
That's what I'm saying, though. But I know what you're saying. It would have happened so quick or whatever. But you're going from. if the Raiders just decided we're going to be done with this, we don't want him around, we're just going to release him. Yes, we lost 2 draft picks, but we didn't lose any money on this. We didn't give him money. He hadn't earned anything. So let's just cut our ties while we can and get rid of him. I mean, like, you don't think a lot of other teams would have jumped on that? You don't. I mean, I don't know if there were, but I'd be willing to bet at least one other team called the agent to see if there was something they could work out.
Probably the Jets.
I just think Brown went to the Patriots because, 1, probably to stick it to Pittsburgh, but 2, why not go get the ring? He signed a 1-year deal.
I just haven't heard it. I'm sure you're right. There probably were a lot of suitors, but I didn't hear of any.
No, but why would you?
Picked off. Sorry.
But, God.
Well, just because
World Wrestling Entertainment. No, but it's just like my whole thing is that's just what it like.
Well, I say just because of how high profile player that he is. He's the biggest name in football, if you will, right now.
My whole thing is if Brown. I think that Brown's fed up with it himself. I think Brown went to New England and wanted the 1-year deal to win the ring, and he's going to retire. It's not about greatness anymore for him. It's just about making a statement.
Yeah.
It's about, in his head, whether there's some sort of mental health thing going on or he's just a douchebag, whatever, but there's, in his head, he's in the right. Everyone's out to get him. And all that. And my biggest problem with it is the New England Patriots, Antonio Brown, and the NFL in general are making a very poor role model example for a lot of young kids that are going to look up to Antonio Brown because of the platform that he's on, because of what he does for social, like where he is in social media and how good he is in the NFL. This wouldn't be if Christian Kirk did this, no one would give a shit. But like Antonio Brown is a role model. Like he kids mold their game after him, just like DeAndre Hopkins, just like Julio Jones, just like Michael Thomas. Like that's what they do. You know, it's not just the fans of the team; it's a nationwide thing, and it's just a very poor. You know, is it life? You know, we make the joke about it, and people make the joke. That's life. You know, like it's the good guys. You know, finish last. You know, that's life. Blah blah blah. But it's just like the NFL and Antonio Brown and the New England Patriots have pretty much put an unofficial statement out to all the kids that watch the NFL with the dreams and ambitions of being in the NFL or do whatever. That if you cry and bitch and moan enough, you'll get what you want. You don't have to work for it. You just have to bitch and moan.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And that's my whole gripe against it. But it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, it's over now. I mean,
well, there's nothing we could have done about it anyway. Doesn't matter if it's not over. What are you going to do about it? I mean,
right. And for me, because I have such a disdain for New England, and now such a great dislike for Antonio Brown, that I do hope something bad comes of it. But it's like he better be counting his cards and blessings that he didn't get a chance to suit up for the Steelers for Week 1 against the Steelers, and that he doesn't have to play the Raiders because there's a specific aggressive linebacker that left Cincinnati to join Oakland, and I'd be willing to bet that his hatred for Antonio Brown grew quite a bit after this whole fiasco with Oakland. Yeah. So he should just be happy that he's not going up against Pittsburgh's defense or having to face Vontaze Burfict this year. Yeah, I'm fairly confident they would take all the fines and all the penalties to put a good hit after.
Especially could you imagine if it was reversed? Imagine if the Patriots play. I was talking to Cobb about this. Imagine the Patriots played the Steelers Week 17. Patriots are in the playoffs, or not even Week 17. Say Week 15. You know, the Patriots are still fighting for the 1 seed, and the Steelers maybe they had a bad year or something like that. I'm not wishing that upon you guys. I'm just saying
scenario.
They're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Do you think they're going to care about some aggressive face masks and horse collars?
Yeah, forget about it.
Find me all you want. I don't give a shit. We're not hurting our team.
Hurt this dude.
Yeah, and if anything, losing would be good at that point. So, yeah, and the problem too is that the NFL has given players so much leverage into letting them control the league that the majority of the NFL players are behind him. You deserve that money. Go get that money. You should be treated right. People aren't treating you right. You go out and get yours. This, that, and the other thing. And it's like, that's not what it's about. I would love to know what, like, somebody like a Larry Fitzgerald thinks about this. Somebody like a Steve Smith. Somebody,
Well, Larry Fitzgerald already kind of came out with it earlier in the year. He said, like, he doesn't agree with what and how he's going about it.
Right.
And if there's anybody that deserves to bitch about anything, it's him. The amount of bad quarterbacks he's played with, he stuck it out with one team. He stuck by them the entire time, no matter what the quarterback situation was.
There's a lot of receivers that would have done the same thing if things were different. I don't think Steve Smith would have ever left the Panthers if they had decided to. If they believed in him and wanted to keep going with him, I think that he 100% would have.
Yeah. Well, Steve Smith, he played in some pretty bad teams too, and he suited up every week. He didn't,
Yeah.
And he was a pretty known hothead.
Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
He suited up with some bad Texans teams. A lot of people have done it. They've stuck it out and they've suited up with teams. And the problem is that the NFL has become egotistical. The players have become egotistical, and that it's all about them, and that's all that matters. And so they look at it. It's strictly become a financial aspect. And when you see somebody like Brown did with Juju Smith-Schuster getting these receptions, these touchdowns, this social media press, this team involvement in this team, like, shooting, like, that means that he, Antonio Brown, it's taking away from his payday. That's all it is his payday. Now, I saw this thing. I'd like to get your guys' input on it. People are saying, like, Antonio Brown's always kind of been, like, a show-offy kind of guy, and kind of has had issues in the past. Not anything close to what he's been going with the past 2 years. But a lot of people are saying that all this shit really started to, like, really unfold. Like, Antonio Brown really started being public and social about it after that really bad helmet-to-helmet hit from Perfect. The one where Juju ended up laying out Perfect later in that game. Do you think there's any sort of CTE type of, like, mental thing going on as a result of like, that severe... Because that was a brutal hit. Wasn't Brown taken out of the game and missed the next week, too, didn't he?
He missed the playoff game.
Yeah. He got knocked pretty good. I mean,
Here's my thing about that. I don't think it's CTE. I think that's the play that finally said to him, if I'm going to get hit like this, I want the money. The only thing I care about right now is money to support me and my family, if that's what, it's what he's thinking about. But he goes, I could potentially end my career without the guaranteed money. I don't have anything.
Yeah. Well, to what, Paul, you just said, that fits the timeline very well, I think. That happens, and after that, things started going kind of funny.
Yeah.
With everything in general.
That happened, he missed the playoff game, and then...
The year after with the Facebook or Instagram, whatever it was.
Yeah, the Facebook, Instagram stuff, and then the shit with Ben started surfacing, and then the on-field issue shits, and then, like, the shit with Juju, and then missing a game... And then eventually going to the Raiders. I'm not saying yes or no. I was just curious.
I think that definitely had something to do with all of it.
You think it had something to do with it more from like a sane mental point versus like jarring something loose, essentially?
Mm-hmm.
If I may...
You can't.
Okay.
Just interject.
Chris Long had a spot on, I think it was Good Morning Football, where he talked about this. Said he wasn't really digging the trend of assuming that every player who acts erratically is exhibiting some symptom of CTE. Discounts the numerous mental health issues that exist in society at large, and we're not qualified to make judgment calls on stuff like that. So I get it from that point of view. These guys probably don't want to hear about it because it's something they're going to have to worry about someday.
Chris wouldn't have brought this up if some non-Ram said it. Just bringing that up right now.
Well, that's fine. It's an interesting...
If Muhammad Wilkerson broke that news, Chris would have just been like, man, who the fuck cares what those guys saying?
That's like the perfect guy.
No, I get what you're saying. But who knows, though? I mean, there's been instances of things like a severe physical trauma causing I'm not a doctor, but like a form of lapse causing kind of like a different, not disease, but like a mental thing to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's you're talking about like the hit that he got was severe stress and trauma to the brain. Maybe it triggered something. Who knows?
Yeah. But, it's unfortunate because, for myself, it was a player I really, really liked. And it's, early on when he was, starting to become like a household name and really good, I was like, wow, Pittsburgh has the best wide receiver. We got the best running back. What a great time to be watching football for a Steelers fan. And then it kind of just crumbled right in your hands. So it's very disappointing. And then to find out that the player that you really liked and idolized, whatever you want to call it, is not such a good guy. That's what really kind of like stings.
Yeah.
So
I think the Bell stuff had things to do with it too. Like just the whole they're not giving Bell what he wants. I'm not gonna let them fucking do that shit to me.
The thing is, they gave him what he wanted.
You know what I mean, though.
I know.
Jesus, Kyle, it's always got to be about the money with you.
Kyle's just a money-hungry guy.
He's a whore. He's a dirty whore.
A real money grubber. Speaking of being a money grubber, this guy could use another shot. So can I pass it over to you, Miss, over there?
No, let's move on from the intern. But anything else you guys like to chime in about the NFL being underway? Any news, stories, anything like that?
We covered the round thing. I just wanted the world to know that I was the first guy to think it in the entire world. So, Miss, can you please say it?
I think the two most notable injuries that happened week one were, barring anything that happens in the Saints-Texans game or on the Raiders-Broncos game, obviously Nick Foles missing. I don't know if he even gave it a timetable yet, but he's got a broken left clavicle.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to be out until at least, I would say, probably week 8 to 10.
What a surprise, too. You never expect an injury, but
right. Somebody that's poised to kind of turn the page for themselves again, yeah.
And it's right down the tube.
And then Tyreek Hill expected to miss several weeks with his
similar injury.
Collarbone, right? I think he has a collarbone issue.
There's somebody else that got, Devin Funchess, broken collarbone.
Yeah.
Wow, three for three.
But if there's anything we've seen, depending on how the severity of it, but we've seen Rodgers multiple times come back in the middle of a season from a collarbone issue. I think for Funchess and Hill, there's more precautions involved because they're actually getting lit up. Quarterbacks aren't generally, especially quarterbacks like Nick Foles, aren't going to be getting drilled really hard in the chest. Same thing with like Aaron Rodgers. Like there's more protecting to it, because all the quarterback has to do is start going down and defenders got to light up. But with like a Tyreek Hill or a Funchess,
I think they said Hill's going to come back at some point, but I don't think Funchess comes back.
Real quick, kind of topic jump just for a second.
Michael Thomas is over 100 yards for you, by the way.
I know, still down by 11.
Catches a 40,000-yard touchdown.
But to topic jump real quick, the Jaguars went on and they traded for
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs there from Pittsburgh. So
poor guys.
An interesting move.
Now we have 3 fifth-round picks.
Yeah, I was not surprised that that's the guy they went for, but at the same time,
Probably the only guy that they could have gotten.
Well, I didn't hear them hey, Jaguars exploring options.
I got a quick topic. Who do you think's better, T.J. Yeldon or Tevin Coleman?
Tevin Coleman.
What a piece of shit. It was a whole setup. That was back to the whole texting thing when we were texting about Yeldon. You said Yeldon was better than Coleman.
Did I? I thought we were talking about somebody else.
Well, I don't think we were.
I think it was.
I was going to talk about Yeldon.
He's better than Connor.
Better than James Conner?
Hmm?
Was it T.J. Yeldon better than James Conner?
No, Bart Connor.
Oh, Bart Conner. Well, where does he play?
Carolina.
San Indianapolis Colters.
Those are fuck.
Which doesn't work anymore.
I know. Great name.
So we went over all the scores.
The Los Angeles Colters.
Yeah. Yes, Mass, I'm sorry.
Sorry. We went over the scores, victories, big blowouts, stuff like that. Who do you think, I don't know a better way to say it, who do you think is fake out of all the teams that got huge wins, and who do you think is actually the real deal?
I don't want to say the Ravens are fake. They just played the Dolphins. Same thing with the Cowboys. I don't want to say they're fake. They played the Giants. So I need to see more from them.
But you don't think that's what the team's going to look like all year long?
No, definitely not the Ravens.
Ravens less than the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a top 5 defense and potentially a top 5 offense. So
What about the teams that got blown out?
I don't think that's the Steelers. I don't think that's what we're going to see from the Steelers for the rest of the year. I don't think what we saw from Chicago or Green Bay is what we're going to see from either of those teams for the rest of the year. I think, for me, the biggest red flag concern is on the Falcons. Because, yes, everybody got hurt last year, and that kind of had a big reason to do with how porous they played, but even though the whole preseason thing, we were talking about that, but everybody was back, and everybody, all their stars that were hurt, well rested. And they just did not look good at all as an entire unit. I'm curious, and then on the flip side of things, a team that won that is a red flag for me is the Philadelphia Eagles. Because, like I said, like we talked about before, they were poised to have this really good defense, like a top 10 guaranteed defense, and 27 points is still a lot of points to give up to Case Keenum and company.
Right, yeah, not a very good team.
Because I don't give a shit if it's Darius Geis or Adrian Peterson. Neither of those guys are top 10 running backs. So those are probably the more red flags for me.
I think a team that, they didn't get blown out, but for argument's sake, they did get blown out. The Jaguars, I think the game we saw yesterday is the team they're going to be, Foles or not. I think they'll be able to put up points, but I think that they're not going to be super, super competitive. I think the defense is pretty good. I think they can keep them in games. I just don't see the offense doing anything spectacular to put them ahead.
I think the Seahawks, even though they got the win, kind of showed that they're not the same team from last year. They're kind of like a fake, not type of thing. Just because when you look at it, you look at the division alone. The Cardinals are better than they were last year in terms of throwing the football. They already showed that. The Rams have a very good receiving core and pass catching backs. And the 49ers have playmakers, not star playmakers, but a solid overall unit that can get the ball up and down the field. Mm-hmm. And as Kyle said, if you can stop those front four guys, you got all day. You do whatever the fuck you want with that secondary because nobody's stopping them. So,
I wouldn't say they're red flag, but we know who the Titans are. They blew them out, but they'll lay an egg next week, and they'll play like shit for a couple weeks and blow out another good team. That's just the type of team that they are.
Yeah,
and I don't expect to see this, even if they are not what everyone thinks they're gonna be or was hyping them up to be. I don't think it's fair to say that this is what the Browns are gonna be for the season either. I mean, Kyle, I think you can even agree to that.
I think they're gonna be like that for a few weeks, and then I think they'll turn it around.
You think they're gonna be?
I think they have a hard time figuring it out for a few weeks because it's all new to them.
Growing pains,
but it's not though. That's the thing. It's not new to them.
No, it's like a new team together.
But it's not. It's really not. They added Odell, and that's really about it. I mean, the offensive line has got to figure some stuff out. I mean, understandably, but that's every NFL team. But the defense is relatively unchanged for the most part.
Got a new coordinator that changes stuff up.
And I had said that.
Yeah, I think it's more on the coaching staff figuring it out than it is the team itself.
And I had said I thought the Browns were going to have some growing pains, and I think because the offensive line being as such, and I think Baker is going to try to do a little too much, and not force the ball per se, but I think he feels that he's got to have it all on him, and that's where the mistakes are going to come.
Well, he thinks he has to make Odell happy.
Well, I mean that could be a thing too. We don't know, but I think the Browns will kind of settle into a groove, and I think just. We talked about the Titans there, but I think the Titans' defense is no joke. I think
no, the defense is good. They're always good. It's the guy throwing the ball that I think is going to be terrible.
Yeah, I just credit where credit's due.
And I don't think the Buccaneers play like that all year either. I think they turn it around too.
Well, in my opinion, without Fitzpatrick, there's no shot.
This is a big shot.
I mean, think about Arians and Fitzpatrick.
Forget about it. Who do the Dolphins play next week? Patriots. Do you think they stick with Rosen, or do you think they start Fitzpatrick again?
I think they start Fitzpatrick.
I think so too. I think if you're the Dolphins, I think you have to start Fitzpatrick. I think if you start Rosen, especially because he went in and had another porous performance, even though it was a minimal one, But yeah, another porous performance, and I think that I think you need to go in and kind of settle the troops down. What do you make about all those Dolphins players wanting trades?
I think it's hysterical.
I saw it coming. Like, you already saw a few guys wanting out, and now
They're tanking.
They haven't announced that, though. They said they're not tanking.
They can't.
But I think, like,
What are they going to do? What is the NFL going to do to them? Fine them? They're not going to remove them from the league. They're not just going to, all right, fuck you, here's 10 wins. We're giving you 10 wins.
I'm sure.
all right.
And then they finish 10 and 16. But it's like, what are they going to do? Like,
I'm sure they could take draft picks away for that. That's throwing wins to other teams. That's influencing playoffs.
They're not throwing win. Tanking does not mean you're giving. People like to think that tanking means that you're going out and you're just being like, oh, all right, fuck it. Like you're forfeiting the game. That's not what tanking
you're
is.
getting the younger guys more
That's
reps.
exactly what you're doing. The Dallas Mavericks did it, and they got a bunch of shit for it. And I was all about it when they did it, because they did it, granted, yes, they didn't do it in the beginning of the season and kind of make it as apparent, but the last 30 games of the season, they were in no specific spot at all to make the playoffs. There was no push that they were going to do it. So what did they do? They benched all their starters. All their starters played off the bench, and they started all their young guys. And the NBA tried to go after them for throwing games. That's not what you're doing. The Dolphins are in a rebuild. The absolute basement depths of a rebuild.
They had to.
You have to see what you have.
Right.
You need to see who's what, because when you have that many young guys, a lot of them come up for contracts at the same time. You need to see who's worth it and who's not. You don't have the luxury of having the Chicago Bears defense where you have 5-year veterans that are on contract, you have 3-year veterans that are on contract, and then you have your rookies, and they sprinkle in and out of who's getting a contract. You don't have that luxury that the Patriots constantly have of a rotating of signing people. They don't have that. Everyone's going to be due up for contracts at the same time.
Right. Well, I think to support both arguments, you can't just come out and say, hey, we're going to suck on purpose. But at the end of the day, to support Paul, they're professional athletes. They're not just guys, hey, you want to come play football for a week to see how you do?
And
These guys are
the
playing.
other thing, too, is it doesn't matter what the head coach says. If I'm playing on a professional football team and our general manager goes out there and goes, yeah, we don't really care how the season finishes for us record-wise, we're trying to evaluate the talent that we have and what direction we need to move in the future. First of all, that's a killer way to say you're tanking right there. But second, if they decide that putting me on the field gives them the best chance for losing, I'm not going to go out there and just be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not going to play. Like, I'm going to go out there and play my hardest. That's what every player's going to do. You can't make people play bad.
Right. And you're trying to, if you're that type of player, you're trying to showcase yourself for other.
Right. My whole thing with it is, I think the players that really want trades, I think it's like, not that these players are the ones that requested trades, but like, if I'm a player on the Dolphins that's mad, I'm a Mika Fitzpatrick. I'm a Devontae Parker. And the reason for that, right, I'm a player that you've already showed the NFL you're trading away anybody worth anything.
Well, not Minka, because he has a few years left.
But you said that you're trading away everybody that's worth anything. Mika Fitzpatrick's worth a good amount right now. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's who I think should be the most upset. Is if you're putting out a team that's going to be subpar, you're incorporating those few good players you have into, this is the team that's going to help us lose.
It was like the whole process thing. The Sixers came out and played hard every night. They didn't have the team. But they came out, they played every single night hard.
Homer.
It's just the best way to good.
No, my thing with it is just, it's just funny, because if 10 people came out and said, I want to be traded, I'm willing to bet you 7 of those people are practice squad players for almost every other team in the NFL. Like, if you're good enough to be a starter on this Dolphins team, with the exception of the guys that we named, you're good enough to be a starter on Cincinnati, Arizona, Detroit. That's about it. The Giants, maybe.
Well, it depends.
If you're defensively.
Kenyon Drake would probably be a backup in most teams.
Starter. I said starter.
Yeah.
Starter. You just said backup. It literally contradicts what I said. Basically what I said is to be good enough to be a 1, and you were like, well, he'd be a 2.
You could be a 1 on some teams, but...
No. Kenyon Drake's not a 1 on anyone else's team. Give me a team who you think he's a 1 on.
Texans.
You think Kenyon Drake's better than Duke Johnson?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yeah, as an all-around back, as a pass catcher, I think Duke Johnson's better.
Duke Johnson's definitely a much better right up the middle short yardage back than Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake's not a good short yardage back.
It's not bad.
Not good.
Ergo, not good.
This is wow. I'm loving the argument. Is what I'm saying. Like, he's not good though, but he's not bad.
Well, if you give him the outside runs, he's fine.
You can't just run outside runs. If you try to run the same thing every single time, you lose 33 to 3 or 10 to 3.
You have two backs. He's good enough to be a 1.
But most teams don't operate out of a 2-back system.
No, but
A lot of teams like to give the allure that they do, but they don't. The Rams don't even do it. They're doing it now because they're trying to preserve Gurley, which is just a giant smoke screen that they're not fooling anybody with. But, like, even the Chargers aren't running a 2-back system. Justin Jackson had 50 yards, but on 5 carries. I don't give a shit what you're producing in yards. It has to do with your carries.
Right.
You can have 900 yards, but if it's on 4 carries, then you didn't get the touches. You're not a production back.
that's insane.
I'm just saying, like, but you see it all the time. You see players that get 97 yards on 2 rushes.
Yeah, it happens.
It's great. Yeah, good for them. They ripped off a really good run. They had a good run, but that's what it was, a good run.
How many fantasy days do you see a guy start with 2 receptions for 111 yards? This guy's gonna kill it.
Right,
and then he finishes the day with that.
Just all the time.
But it's interesting. It's fun after the first week to kind of like any notions that you had going into it that did not turn out to be true at all, and certain stuff that surprises you.
It was a very deflating week 1. It was not. In my opinion, looking at the kind of like the live tracker for the game while we're doing this looks like a good game. But from the Sunday and Monday games, the 2 most competitive games were Bears-Packers and Bills-Jets. Everything else was just kind of like whatever. Oh, the Lions-Cardinals. But everything else was just like, ugh.
We came down to 3 points.
Who cares? Yeah, but there was no intrigue
You were
to
up
it.
10.
Yeah, and there was no excitement to it. It wasn't an intrigue factor. Like I said, the most exciting thing in that game was that Greg Olsen didn't get hurt.
Yeah. Well, the games that we thought were going to be exciting didn't live up to the hype.
Did he do anything?
Greg Olsen? He had a couple catches.
I think he had like 3 catches for like 30-something yards. If he stays healthy, he's going right back to tight end 1 in fantasy. Speaking of that, we're going to have a big announcement coming soon about fantasy football stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll kind of put a bow on the NFL. Anybody have anything they'd like to add to NFL Week 1, start of the NFL season, before we kind of put a bow on it, and we'll move on to some other topics in the third hour?
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to do, it's not like an announcement, just for us as a group. I really liked when we did the pick'ems, just for fun. I mean, I don't know if we can do that.
So on Monday, you want to pick all the winners for next week's game?
Yeah, or it's something that we can do, off air, and then we can announce the start of the following week. Hey, Riddler led with.
This guy just only wants to talk about football. It's so exhausting.
No, I just really like it.
Fine, we'll go around. and We'll do it right now.
All right. I guess I don't know what to do with the Machcine Possible is.
Are we keeping track of it?
What?
Are we keeping track of it?
Well, I'd like to.
Did we keep track of it before?
Well, we did 2 years ago. We did remember the printouts and we filled out week by week, or maybe it was longer than 2 years ago. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But there's a way we could do it on the computer, right? You could do anything on the computer.
You sound like a real fucking dad right there.
What are you saying, son?
What do you mean? Check the computer.
Check the computer, yeah.
What do you mean, Dad?
Is this Wi-Fi?
But it's prime for that. Check your phone.
Matt, are you going to type while we do it?
Yeah.
Get that spreadsheet
Why
open.
don't you just get off the internet? Why don't you just type it into a Word document?
I was just seeing if there was a fillable form I could do online.
You're going to fill out 4 at a time?
Equifax.
So does this mean that Mock gets a big donut, or do we tell him about it?
Should we say fuck him?
I think so. All 32 teams played, right?
Yeah.
Everyone just gets an 8-8 for week 1.
Right, that's fair.
Man, I was gonna pick the Dolphins too.
Fuck off. That's why you got 8-8. Fine. Souls can go 7-9. We in agreement of that? Mass?
I wouldn't have actually picked him.
You probably would have. Josh Rosen. It's the next Devontae Freeman. He's going to play running back soon.
You have said that before.
They had to figure something out with him.
Mass is trying really hard to get this Excel spreadsheet to the exact format he wants it.
I'm just waiting for you guys to start.
Oh,
So
we're
say
waiting
that.
for you, and you're sitting here like, all right, I'm ready. Hopefully they're going to be ready soon, these motherfuckers. One double cheeseburger, extra onion, motherfucker. All right, Bucks Panthers Thursday night.
Panthers.
You don't get to do this because you got to do fantasy. That's enough
Yeah,
involvement.
you don't talk.
Yeah, we'll see you next football season.
When you talk, it's not in the microphone.
Mass
Panthers.
Panthers. All right.
Can we all together pick one game from Mock?
I mean,
Like making
we'll go
choices
through.
for him.
all right.
Probably go first.
Bucks. So if he gets it, he wins, and if he doesn't, all right. 49ers, Bengals.
Niners.
I have the 49ers.
I also have the 49ers.
Bengals.
Oh.
All right.
Matt's playing his disdain for
right.
an NFC team.
Pick,
NFC West.
pick Mox.
49ers.
Chargers, Lions.
Chargers.
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 I got Mock. Lions.
All right.
Just going out of your way to screw up.
And just so all the listeners know, if there's a show in the future, like I might not be on the air next week. If I'm not here, I will get the form in advance and fill it out myself. And so will everyone else. Mock's the only one that gets fucked. All right. Vikings, Packers.
Vikings.
Tie.
Are you sticking with that?
Packers.
You said Vikings?
I didn't say anything.
No. Who said
I
Vikings?
said Vikings.
Okay.
Kyle?
Packers.
Mass?
Vikings.
I also said the Vikings.
Mock gets a tie.
Colts, Titans.
I have the Colts winning this one. Brissett shows some good stuff.
I also said the Colts.
I say Titans. 13-6.
So that's the score for all the games this week, by the way.
I am picking the Colts.
Colts of Indianapolis.
We're going to stop doing mocks because we're just going to let him fill his own out. You know what? We're not doing this anymore. This is boring. Just too much noise. We're going to print out the forms. I'll get in contact with Mock. I'll have him print out the forms like he did last time. And we'll have everyone send the picks to him. He'll just fill out this week's for everybody. And we'll go from there. It's very riveting radio, I know. But we're just going to do it that way. The only one I really want people to is the nice Monday nighter, Browns-Jets.
Let's go Browns.
Jets.
I'm also picking the Jets.
Patriots. All right. So we're going to
You
break.
picked the
Why don't you
Cubs.
fucking watch your mouth, you goddamn piece of shit. We're going to go to break now. Little crybaby souls over there. Cries. Stupid Kevin Hart sounds.
Hey,
So
Jackwagon.
we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Get back.
Enjoy yourself some nice tone lock.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by assholes, degenerates, and motherfuckers.
All the above.
Degenerate.
So thought you were going with these nuts.
Got him! Sorry.
Got him.
So, we're back here, final hour. One thing that we did think was important to talk about, even though everyone's excited and football fever, but it is, we're approaching the halfway point of the last month of baseball. So this is when all the playoff races which usually I always find the playoff races are kind of pretty much set, like division winners. It's the wild card that really gets heated up. That's pretty much what September is wild card baseball. But we figured we should talk about teams that have clinched or pretty much clinched, and then some wild card hunts. So, Mass, let's work our way around the clock. Let's start in the AL East.
All right, so the AL East. Yankees are on top. Got 94 wins. I would say they pretty
Well,
much...
so what we're going to do here is I'm going to walk you through this. You can tell me the Yankees, and you can tell me how many games behind second place is.
All right. Yankees are in first place. Tampa Bay is 8.5 games behind, followed by the Red Sox at 17.5 games behind. Toronto at 39 games behind. And the Orioles at 47.5 games behind.
So I think it's safe to say the Orioles are out.
Oh, no, they're a lock for World Series.
For the bad news bears. No, I would think it'd be safe to say the Yankees have wrapped up that division.
Yeah.
I mean, 8.5 games. I could see Tampa going on a huge stretch. I just can't see them winning 9 more games than the Yankees.
It would take a big drop-off for the Yankees to really...
I don't know how many more games they have against the Yankees. I guess probably only 3. They don't have any more?
That series is wrapped up,
I
right?
think they did all of them.
So I don't think it's gonna. It would take a stroke of luck, but I think the Yankees are pretty much wrapped up that division. So let's move out to the Central.
Central, Twins in first place. Indians, 5.5 games back. White Sox, 25 games behind. Royals, 35.5 games behind.
What's the White Sox record?
White Sox record is 63-80.
He said White Sox.
White Sox.
Hey, we did better than last year.
Detroit Tigers, last place, 45.5 games behind at 42-100.
God, they're so bad.
So, I mean, I think it's safe to say the Twins, I think, would still be the favorite to win the division, but at 5.5 games, I mean, you guys better baseball knowledge than me, but I just feel like how many games does each team have left to play about?
Well, 15 to 20.
Right, so 5 games, that's a lot to make up in.
That can be done.
Yeah.
Could they? Twins don't really have a lot of pitching, and the Indians do.
That, I think, of all the teams we're about to talk about, I think this is the only one that has the best chance to perhaps switch.
And I don't know what the rest of the schedules look like, too, but obviously you can make a much bigger impact on the standings when you're playing the team you're chasing. Because, like we said, the Rays and the Yankees are done, so it's like, yes, if the Rays win tomorrow night and the Yankees lose, it means the same as if they beat the Yankees.
Right.
But, when you beat the Yankees, you know that you won and they lost, so...
Yeah, it's one of those things.
So, we said before, just because we're streaming the game in the studio so that we can watch it while we're doing it. I think Kyle just beat Rebecca after being down 34 points.
I don't care about that one.
This is the Eric one. That's right.
I'm up by 0.04 after that catch.
Oh, dude, he's gonna fucking fumble. He's gonna catch a negative 1 yard pass and fumble, Kyle.
Keep it away from him.
Dude, check down to Duke Johnson. That's what I'm saying. But anyway.
Yeah, I think that the Twins will kind of hold on, but it will be interesting if the Indians could put together a good stretch. And wow, Souls' face.
Michael Thomas.
If the Twins can hold on, or
sorry, this is the problem with watching the games. I know it was exciting, but I think Deshaun Watson got hurt again.
No, he's up on walk.
Oh, he was grimacing. Who caught that pass? Will Fuller?
Kenny Stills.
Fucking New Orleans. Real slap in the face. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Mal. I think this would be the most potential, just because we've already seen Cleveland jump over Minnesota this year to claim the first spot, and that's from
fell apart again somehow.
Right, but the Twins were looking like they were going to be the hottest team in baseball this year, and I think it'd be fair to say that nobody at this table or anybody at any credible MLB analysis podcast, whatever, saw the Twins holding that on for 162 games.
Yeah.
Did you, Kyle?
So we're watching the game, and the game it should have been a put ahead.
We're going to overtime, baby.
Oh, there's a flag on the play. All right, so we'll move on. We'll move on to the West.
All right, so in the West, Astros in first place. A's are 9.5 games behind. Rangers 22.5. Los Angeles Angels 27. Seattle Mariners 36.
So given what Soul said earlier in the first hour of the show, being that the Astros put up 11 runs on the A's in 3 innings, I think it's safe to say the Astros locked it up.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm curious to see is what's the Astros wins versus the Yankees wins right now? What do we say the Yankees
All right,
had?
so
Yankees had 94.
Yankees are at 94. Houston is at 94. They have the exact same record.
So there's still fight for home field advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But foreseeably, both those teams are going to have 100-plus wins. That's kind of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
But
We're no longer going to overtime.
well, the old drop kick.
What?
Nothing. Stupid.
All right, so
Saints are going to go for one of those 1-point touchdowns where they only have one defender on the field. All I'm seeing is more Breeze yards.
all right, so looking at the wild card picture for the American League right now, Tampa Bay currently will take the first wild card. They are.
Well, so you got Tampa Bay's in the first wild card spot.
Yeah.
Who's in the second?
Athletics are tied with them right now.
And then, so how many games behind is the third team? The
1.5.
Indians? That's the Indians.
Yep.
So and keep going down. Go down.
And
Like
then the Red Sox are 8 games behind. The
Yeah,
Rangers
that-
so
are
it's pretty much it's going to be between the Indians, the Rays, and the Athletics.
yes.
I mean, in September you tend to play your division again. I could very easily see the Indians, if not being able to take it from the Twins, being able to squeak out one of those wild cards. Because the Red Sox will play spoiler, and they'll do the best they can, being the World Series defending champs. They're going to try to do the best they can to ruin it for somebody in the division. Cleveland being 1.5 games out. You talk about the White Sox, the Tigers, and the Royals, all sub 500 teams, and the White Sox being the most dangerous of those three. But still, I mean, they're still sub 500 for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, obviously I think the division leaders all say the same, but I think that I think the Tampa Bay Rays hold on to take the first wild card spot, but I think the Athletics end up falling out to the Indians.
I'm kind of in a similar camp. I think the Rays hold on all the way.
And then the Rays win the wild card game.
Yeah. I think the Rays, the pitching staff has been exactly what we thought they were going to be, and if not exceeding what expectations were there. And I just, as far as the Central goes, I think either it's going to be one of those things that the Twins hold on or the Indians take over and the other one kind of just drops back entirely. And I think the A's hold on to that second spot just because there's that weird magic with the A's. Like when they're kind of on, they finish the deal. It doesn't necessarily mean that they go deep in the playoffs, but they make it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So I think that's kind of what we're going to see.
Well, what's today, Monday?
Monday, yep.
So if they're playing the Astros today, that means that this would be game 1 of a 3-game series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming because the Astros aren't going to be just start resting guys because they've got something to play for still. They're still playing for home field advantage.
I'll look it up. I'm gonna go with the schedule right now.
No, don't worry about that. I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to get too in depth about it. But I'm just saying, like the Astros have something to play for and home field advantage still, so they're going to still be bringing it to the A's. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's move on to the National League.
All right, National League, starting with the East. Braves in first place. Nationals, 9.5 games behind. Phillies, 15 games behind. Mets, 16. Marlins, 37.5.
Sorry, we're going through this fucking game on. So that was the worst officiating I've seen all weekend.
What happened?
Or the worst coaching I've seen all weekend. Got the ball at the 50-yard line with 12 seconds to go, and they let the Saints ran up the field 20 yards to spike the ball with 6 seconds left with a timeout available to them. Now they're not going to. I mean,
well, you pick up 4 yards on a quick pass, like it's like.
Well, I was just saying, yeah. I mean, they're trying to get in field goal range, but anyway. All right, so go back to the NL East. Sorry.
All right, the Braves won the division.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I can combine that.
Okay.
Let's move to a much tighter race.
Central, Cardinals, first place. Cubs, 4.5 games. Milwaukee, 6.5. Reds, 14.5. And Pirates, 19.
I would be willing to say that there would be a much bigger fight for this if Javier Baez didn't just go out for the rest of the season. They still have a lot of good pieces in Bryant and Rizzo and Contreras and all that, but Javier Baez has kind of been like that morale boost for the team all year. He's been like the fun guy and all that. So unfortunately, I think with the absence of him, it's because Javier Baez isn't just the guy. He's not like the Chris Bryant who racks up the home runs. He's the on base guy. He's a very big defensive piece, part of that infield, right, Kyle? So I just we'll see what happens. But
Real quick, I don't know if you guys saw it. So Chris Bryant has this like ridiculous haircut. and I follow this MLB page.
Are you beating Rebecca yet? Because this field goal will make or break it for you.
No, I already lost.
Oh, okay.
And it shows a picture of the back of his head, and it says, Chris Bryant's hair has been designated for assignment.
Can you believe the Saints won that game?
I'm so mad right now.
I can believe it, because Drew Brees and Tom Brady, it's all the same. Like, they gave him, 15 seconds? Or 50 seconds?
They might as well just put number 12 on his back.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move out to the West.
You know what? I don't care. Hopkins did his thing.
Dodgers, first place. Diamondbacks, 17.5 games.
Yeah,
back.
Dodgers won the division.
Yeah. And also on pace for 100 games.
Do you want me to go through the rest or no?
No, let's see the,
Who's in last place?
Rockies, how many games back are they?
41.5.
No.
More?
Less.
Oh. 26.
Oh. Higher.
32.
32.5.
I just went in the middle of those two numbers.
So what's the NL wild card race looking like?
So, the NL wild card. All right, so, right now, Nationals got it locked up, tied with the Cubs. They're 3 games ahead. Close behind them, Brewers, looks like they're 2 games back. Diamondbacks 2 games back. Phillies 2.5, and Mets 3.5. So that's a very tight race.
So
It's going to stay the same.
it's probably, I mean, for the Mets, their opportunity was about a week ago to really, make a statement to be maybe not the first wild card, but definitely the second. They lost a big series versus the Nationals where they were up huge, and they gave up 9 runs in the bottom of an inning, and that took all the wind out of the sails. And then they went on to in baseball, every game is a must win. That's always it's a very tired expression, but it holds true. Then you go on to a rival in the Phillies, who are right there with you, and to win a game and then not be able to win another, it just the Mets at this point, I think, in my opinion, are done. Their window had closed, being wide open about, we'll call it a week and a half ago. The Phillies have probably the best chance of the lowest seed in the wild card race, because I think that's a team that can.
We have no pitching.
Well, I think they could heat up, and they could kind of, I don't know who you guys finish off against. I know we have the Diamondbacks, and then I can't remember, we play the Braves again.
We also play the Braves. We can't beat them.
No, but I mean, I think the Braves are a team that may not play their starters, and you can kind of tee off.
Philly's got to play a tough schedule down the stretch. They don't have the pitching for it.
Well, as far as the East goes,
Who's the Steelers center? So there's a picture. It's Marquise Pouncey on New England's thing with the ball, no one around him, and it says "Legends has it, he's still there." That's pretty funny. You go back to what you're saying. Sorry.
oh no, I think as far as the Phillies having a better chance than the Mets, not just because they're ahead in the schedule, just but because I think that the Mets the wind is out of their sails entirely. I think there's more. What am I trying to say here? Not that there's more heart, but I think the Phillies are poised to kind of have more longevity in the game than the Mets are. Kind of a flash in the pan, and I hate to say it because it's a home run hitting team. The pitching is fantastic. The starters are fantastic, but the bullpen is not designed to win, and it's been evident all year. As far as the NL wild card, who's the first two again?
Washington and the Cubs.
And yeah, so as far as I'm
Washington pretty much has it clinched.
Yeah, Washington's pretty good. So real quick, we'll kind of go around the horn here. So who do you think wraps up the wild card in the AL? Tampa Bay, Oakland, and Cleveland. Cleveland is 1.5 games back of Oakland.
I have Tampa and Oakland.
Okay.
Cleveland and Oakland.
I have Tampa and Cleveland.
Oakland, Cleveland.
Okay. And then who do you have in the National League? So we said Washington's up 3 games. Then the Cubs are the second team right now. Milwaukee's 2 games behind. Arizona's 2 games behind. Philadelphia's 2.5 behind. And then the Mets are 3.5 behind.
Brewers and Nationals.
Cubs and Nationals.
Cubs and Nationals.
Nationals, Phillies. I don't think Arizona or Milwaukee have the consistency to do it, and I think Javier Baez is going to be I think missing Javier Baez is going to be a big detriment to that team. I do. I think it's going to be a big loss to the team.
Philly's got to win 3 or 4 or 5 in a row. They've done that once.
I think by next week this time, if we do this again, and I think we should, I think we'll have a fairly clear-cut picture. I think because
Who do you have winning the wild card game then, out of your picks? So, Kendall, you said Tampa Bay and Oakland. Who do you have winning?
I have Tampa winning.
You said Oakland and
Cleveland.
Who do you have winning it?
Cleveland.
You said Cleveland and Tampa?
No, I said Oakland and Cleveland.
And?
Athletics.
Big Bean fan over there.
I have Tampa and Cleveland. I have Tampa winning it. And then, so out of your picks, I have the Nationals beating the Phillies in the wild card game.
I have the Nationals beating the Cubs.
Nationals beating the Cubs.
Brewers beating the Nationals.
Wow.
It's just that one game they have the better pitching.
Yep. Scherzer makes all the, but it would be I think it'd be of all these matchups, I think the one that I picked would be the most fun to watch, Nola versus Scherzer.
Nola can't fucking pitch right now.
Well, he doesn't have to pitch right now. I'm talking about wild card game.
Today you got rocked again.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the wild card game.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Fucking asshole. All right, so let's go through our Getting Sports with Drunk. We'll kind of close the show. We're not done, but we'll use these kind of like as a closing segment. We'll go over our Getting Sports with Drunk fantasy for the week, even though this week, most of the time there'll still be a game going on. But so we'll start off. Eric and Tyler, 2 newcomers to the show, they had a real barn burner. But Eric pulled out the win, Tyler pulled out the win 128.14 to 125.58.
Anybody on the bench that should have been started?
That's what I'm trying to look at, but it's not letting me pick their teams
Oh, that's weird.
right now.
Well, that's okay.
I don't know why it's not.
Go to league and then go to their team name.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we'll go to Tyler's team. Tyler with the win. He chose to start Jared Goff over Phillip Rivers. He got the win anyway, so it doesn't really make a big difference.
Probably a poor choice.
For Eric had Brown from Buffalo on his bench, which would have been 24 points, and the lowest receiver that he started was Jarvis Landry, who only got a 9. So that would have been the win for him. Moving on, we have Rebecca beating Kyle 157 to 137. In that one, we had Rebecca just having everyone have a big day, big to average day, pretty much. No one really having a dud. The only 2 things she could have done that would have scored her more points, if she chose to go with Dak Prescott instead of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins got her 16 points. Dak would have got her 49. And New Orleans defense scored her 7 points. The Jets would have gotten her 21. Kyle, you left Brady and Eckler on your bench, which would have scored you more points. Eckler would have given you, granted, it's all hindsight being 2020, but if you had started Eckler over Aaron Jones was your lowest scoring running back, you would have gotten an additional 20 points there, and you would have gotten an additional 14 points out of your quarterback if you had done it. Move on to the other one. We have Roger Dodger, which I believe is that Mike Mock picked Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, that's a stupid name. Roger Dodger is currently losing 114 to 143 against his cousin Chris Jankowski. He has Josh Jacobs going right now, though, in the attempt to score 30 points. And no notable bench washes on those. And then we have an interesting team name here in Hakam Sock'em Robots, that being the Red Baron.
Named it today.
Yep. Who left the Hakam Sock'em Robot on his bench.
Yep.
He's currently playing the Chris Massey, who's locked in his 149 for the week. And Kendall is at 130, so he's down 19 points, and he's got Philip Lindsay going right now.
Fingers crossed.
Had he started Hakam Sock'em Robots, it would have been over.
Yep. So.
And then the last one is Jeff, who auto-drafted and got a great team out of it. He had Carson Wentz on his bench. He started Ben Roethlisberger. That would have gave him an additional 24 points. He also sat Allen Robinson, but he had Sammy Watkins. So
tells you all you need to know. Who did I start a tight end in
Can you wait until I'm done analyzing this one?
I'm so sorry.
I have 138.9 points, so I'm currently behind by 25 points, and I have Emmanuel Sanders going. And my notable bench was nobody. Everybody I started. Joe Mixon didn't perform well, but Devin Singletary only scored 12 points. It would have made a huge difference. And then who'd you start at wide receiver or
tight end?
I don't know. Probably someone stupid because you're dumb. Yeah, you started Hunter Henry.
Yep. I think I drafted him in like every team I had.
You started Matt Burita.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to.
You could have started Hawkinson over Burita. Would have netted you 22 more points. He sucks.
God, why did I start Burrito? I must have made a mistake.
Nah, he didn't make a mistake. It says San Francisco on it. So you're like, oh, Garoppolo's Pizza, favorite customer. You should have went with
He's an
Garoppolo's
employee.
Pizza. You had a Garoppolo's Pizza too, didn't you? Or is that the other league?
That's the other league. That's the.
Why didn't you name this one Garoppolo's Pizza too?
Because GSWD
Was Garoppolo's Pizza?
No, I thought the other league was.
I just remember you being on the podcast saying we're serving up a slice of defeat, but you
Yeah,
haven't.
that was our league.
I had maybe
a
both
friendly.
leagues were Garoppolo's Pizza.
Nah, friendly.
No, because Rivers Restaurant is what I closed with.
Yeah, friendly.
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Oh.
So then why would you talk about it on the podcast? We don't talk about
Because.
that league on the podcast.
Oh, we can talk about anything. Football's fantasy
Fun
football.
fact, that kick that just won New Orleans the game, longest kick in Will Lutz's career.
59 yards. Is that how long it was?
60s.
No, po' boys for everyone.
Isn't it amazing what 30 seconds can do to Deshaun Watson? Yeah!
Got my 27 yards I needed.
That's true, he did. He did. Would have been cool if Drew Brees, though, threw that touchdown to, Mike
Tom.
yeah. I almost said Mike Tomlin. I don't care if it's the Mike Tomlin. It's just Brees throwing it was all that would have mattered. That's why I hate fantasy football. Because that was a great game. And I'm mad that Brees didn't get 400 yards. Should have started Andy Dalton.
So for fans of the show, Mike Mock will not be joining us tonight. He tried, I guess.
No, he didn't.
He texted me a couple times, but
He didn't try.
I don't know. Hopefully he's listening.
He's not listening. He's not listening.
I have the Spreaker chat open. It's been quiet, per usual.
We're live on Spreaker.
We are live on Spreaker.
You can stream us on Spreaker.
Want to hear a cool sound effect?
That's pretty
Spreaker,
cool.
baby.
I wish you played that when the kick was kicked.
We got a couple cool sound effects on here. This one's cool. Ready?
Why are we not using these?
Yeah, you really fucked up.
I don't know if you guys wanted them.
But you didn't present the option to us.
I don't know. Well, I'm presenting them now.
Yeah, but it's way too late.
Kyle, say something.
You're a dick.
That's the dick alarm, everyone.
See, that'd be cool. Every time someone says a certain word, you should make it a thing. Every time, like a secret word, kind of like the secret word and Figure It Out when you get slimed, but then you play the sound effect and someone has to do a shot.
I'll keep that in mind moving forward.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I hope you get eaten by a pack of wolves later.
Jesus Christ.
That's not even, close to the worst of that thing I've ever said to him.
No,
Well,
but
no, but in a lot of ways, it would be my end.
No?
Do you live? What, I get pooped out and stronger than other?
Yeah.
All right.
you do kind of look like Gumby.
Where Pokey's the horse? That's the horse's name?
That's Rebecca.
Pokey. Yeah, no, works for me, I guess. Thin legs, though.
Is she hot?
Nah, it's just that Oakland light.
It's who hot.
That girl that was up there.
Oh. All right, what else you want to talk about, Kyle? We still got about 20 minutes.
Well, 2K came out.
Do you own it currently?
I bought it yesterday.
And you played it?
No.
Oh, so
We made our team now.
So, Souls is the resident.
We're
2K
finishing the
expert.
Buffalo season.
That's fine.
So I'll be curious to hear what Souls' feelings are in this game.
Well, I saw someone posted a video where they were griping because in their My Player they were green lighting free throws and missing them all. And they were like, "What the fuck, Ronnie? 2K? I want my money back. My money back. I want my money back." Who's the biggest surprise? Who's the biggest individual surprise from you guys this season so far? The week 1 of the season.
Sammy Watkins.
Yeah. But it's not like Sammy Watkins made ridiculous catches and made people miss. It's kind of like slant routed it.
Yeah, that's all I needed. Did the Odell Beckham thing. Just didn't bitch about it.
He will. He will. I was very. I know it's off topic. I'm sorry, but I was actually I was kind of like uplifting to kind of see Josh Gordon like do well.
Yeah.
I never disliked Josh Gordon. I know you probably do, Kyle, having be a Brown and a Patriot, but
No, I don't hate Josh Gordon. I just hate the team he plays for.
do you hate the team he plays for more than you hated his former team?
Yeah.
Wow.
I hate Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I don't hate the Browns.
Why do you hate Baker Mayfield, though?
Because of douchebag 1 and douchebag 2.
Who's douchebag too?
You.
Oh, all right.
You're all on a dick. And I'm glad he did what he did week 1.
You know, I gotta be honest. I think being douchebag 2 is worse than 1 because you're not even the number 1 douchebag.
Not even good enough to
Yeah,
be
but the number one douchebag, if you're going by a literal reference, the number one douchebag's probably going to be.
And if he was here,
Right, yeah.
I know the argument he would have. The Steelers look terrible, but there's a difference. We look terrible against the New England Patriots.
I would have had Kyle's back in it because I would have been like, well, there you go. The Browns aren't who we thought they were. They were terrible. And somewhere along the lines, the argument of it was one game, and then that would have been my argument against the Steelers. It was one game, and they played a lot better of a team. At the end of the day, they didn't get beat any worse than the Browns did.
Yeah, we lost by pretty much the same points.
Yeah, you lost by 30 points. Yeah, the Steelers couldn't get in the end zone, and the Browns did, but the Browns gave up 40 points. They're supposed to have a really good defense. They gave up 40 points to the Titans.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Maybe Marcus Mariota will get first round.
Kyle, you would have been in the loss anyway. I'm going to tell you this now. What would have happened was you would have said something about the Browns, which would have triggered him to say something about 1 week, which would have triggered you to say something about the Steelers, which would have triggered you to say something about losing to the Patriots, which is more honorable than losing to the Titans, which just would have triggered him to say something about Derrick Henry being a great running back. So you would have lost anyway. It would have come full circle to you being a dickhead. You didn't play the bell, man. I said dick on purpose.
I was slow to the punch.
Yeah, I said dick
And you
again.
wake up in the morning because everything will be alright. It's alright.
Nope. No.
I don't know the whole words.
He went from fucking Saved by the Bell to Kenny Loggins. It's alright. Alright, we got math class with the Gopher.
Oh,
No. That's his ringtone for his satellite phone. No.
awesome mashup.
Awesome mashup. Chevy Chase would be sleeping with, like, teenage girls and girls.
Already become like a
Take attention from Who's the Boss Says. We're way off topic.
I don't know if I'm trying to think of a good surprise for myself. I mean, I guess it'd be Jacoby Brissett, only because I didn't expect him to do poorly, but he definitely exceeded my expectations. I thought it was going to be kind of a game manager, but he really stepped up.
He kind of was a game manager. Because he only threw for 190 yards.
Well, all right.
He made the passes when he had to.
But he didn't make mistakes, though.
Yeah.
Right. I guess so. To me, a game manager would be kind of like the performance that we saw from Kirk Cousins. You know, you throw in for 98 yards on what?
8 passes,
Eight passes.
8 completions, 8 for 11.
That is like, I mean, Alex Smith used to have barely better stats than that. So it's just like, for me, Brissett, hopefully he can keep that going, because I think for the Colts fans, they need something to be excited about. So
I think there's something to be said for how well Le'Veon Bell's performance. He didn't have like a Steeler-esque day there, but there was a lot of eyes on him to have a bust performance and not play well after missing a year of football. Who had a real bust year for you guys? Or bust week? Like,
Yeah.
who you
Steelers
just,
offense.
No, but like individual play, like who were you just like, wow, like that player just really didn't look good.
Fan.
Robert Woods. But that'll be my pick every week. He's just trash.
well, it's funny though. I can't just put it all on Ben because the
He's the
entire
Colin
offense-
Finnegan of wide receivers.
It's 1 week. I think Ben will figure it out. Ben always struggles in the first couple of games.
Well, the whole team looked terrible.
Yeah. I mean, Mitch Trubisky did not
I was
look
about to
good.
say.
Mitch Trubisky didn't look good. What the fuck is his name?
Dolphins defense and special teams.
An offense.
I don't.
And coaching staff.
I don't
City.
think that Green Bay looked particularly great.
The defense did.
The defense looked very good.
And you got to think about it, though. Green Bay didn't look great because they played probably the best defense in football.
They have Aaron Rodgers.
Doesn't matter.
It should.
It's not Aaron Rodgers running routes.
It's Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball.
Okay, when they're
That's won them most of the games they played.
But when they're getting clamped up and they're not getting separation, he's not going to force it in there.
That's literally what he's made his career off of.
Ben would have.
Yeah, Ben loves that.
You know what made me mad?
Double team, no problem.
Do you remember the
We'll figure it out.
end of the first half?
That's how Ben and Landry Jones met Ben's wife. They double teamed it and jammed it in there.
Gardner Minshew looked good.
Yeah.
Real quick though,
Kyler Murray didn't look terrible. Had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick.
He didn't look terrible until the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
And then he was like, all right, I might call the Athletics.
Yeah, that was so funny in the press game. I'd be so pissed if I was the Cardinals front office of that comment.
and I don't want to discredit Kyler Murray because he did have a very good.
He looks like such a little kid out there.
I know, but how
You know
much?
what? I'm happy because he's throwing the ball to Larry still.
Right, but how from that game? Because I don't want to discredit Murray because I thought he did play well. But I feel like there's a lot to be said for the Lions not finishing a game that they very well should have won.
No.
The story of the Lions.
On what grounds? Matt Stafford has like the most fourth quarter comebacks of like any quarterback in the NFL right now. Matt Stafford has made a career off fourth quarter
What it was
comebacks.
is that they got into position in overtime.
No, it wasn't even that. What cost them the game was that the Cardinals started to march down the field, and the defense was having a hard time keeping up with them, and they were starting to get gas. So while they were going up against the clock with no timeouts, Matt Patricia called a timeout defensively so those guys could rest for a second, which you can't do.
Yeah,
You make quick subs. That's what you got to make quick subs. You don't call that timeout. The Cardinals probably don't win that game.
real quick too. I mean, very short sample size. Who do you think has been the victor so far from the Bill Belichick era? Patricia or Vrabel?
Vrabel went to the playoffs.
Yeah, Patricia didn't have a good year last year.
Yeah. Plus, but Vrabel's had more time, doesn't he?
No, about the same time.
They were both head coach last year, first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vrabel. But Vrabel also came into a way better team. Vrabel came into a top 10 potential defense with a good tight end, a serviceable running back, and at least, I mean...
So let's play predictor for a second. Do you anticipate the Titans finishing better than the Lions?
Yes. Yeah, because the Lions still are trying to work things out on defense. The Lions have the same thing on offense they have on defense. They have 2, maybe 3 really good pieces, but nothing to complement it. Like, last year, like, you remember, like, their whole offense outside of Matt Stafford is Kerryon Johnson and Kenny is it Kenny Galladay?
Yeah.
And Kenny Galladay and TJ Hawkinson. All 3 guys that were not in Detroit Lions uniforms before Matt Patricia took the job. That's their offense. Their main offensive pieces are people that have been there as long as him.
And also, Lions play a way tougher schedule than the Titans.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Lions have 6 really hard games in their own division.
Yeah.
And on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're playing a holiday. You know?
They're not very good on that day.
Who?
The Lions.
Yeah. Remember one year the Bears played the Packers. I was like, ugh, why? Why?
That was you guys went Black Friday shopping.
No, that was a different year. That one was cool. The other one was not cool.
See,
Not
we
cool.
played the Colts on Thanksgiving.
I remember watching the Ravens one at Kendall's house, too. He was so mad because Justin Tucker got the turkey leg. So not only was he mad that the Ravens beat the Steelers, but he was mad that he didn't have a turkey leg.
That's right.
Turkey legs are gross.
Oh, they're delicious.
Tell me 5 things about them that you like.
I like the flavor profile. I like the grease factor.
That's part of the flavor profile, though.
Well, I'm thinking more for like the farts.
Okay.
So that I'll separate the two there. I like the skin. So like the texture of it. You bite into kind of like a crispy.
Like an old woman.
I guess if I was a cannibal or a bat, maybe mosquito. You guys posed the question. I'm just trying to make it work here. I just like turkey legs. That's it. That's all I'll do. Cortland Sutton, also big fan of turkey legs. Well-known fact.
Fair enough. All right. We're not going to drag this on too much longer.
No.
Let's do some beer reviews, Souls.
So, I let off and finished with the citrus seltzer raspberry lime. It's very good. Very, very good.
I wish it was colder, but...
Yeah.
You know, Kyle, it's very, I feel uncharacteristic for you to like something like this.
Well, we had it there, and like I liked it there.
It also helped too that the first time you had it was about 4 billion degrees in that room.
Very refreshing.
I was using the can koozie.
Like it's not heavy,
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's your koozie.
not heavy at all. It's nice and smooth.
Matt?
I'd Coors Light.
Right, Bam?
I also had the Citrus Seltzer IPA from our friends at Black Hog. 2.2%. Comes in a 16-ounce can. Very, very smashable. Very much enjoyed it when we had it up in Oxford. Highly recommend it. The summertime is winding down, but I don't think they're going to stop making it. Is that not a seasonal thing? To my knowledge.
I don't remember what he said about it.
But, you know, for us in our group, we're kind of we're heavy drinkers, and there's something very important about this.
Some of us are more heavy than others.
Right. You're implying me. Rebecca. And I love in-betweeners. And for me, this would be a great in-betweener.
It's like a perfect beer you can chug while you're peeing.
Exactly.
We get a bunch of these for the Pittsburgh trip.
That's a very expensive 30-pack.
Yeah. Well, we could call the Water
is a
Liquids. Maybe they'll hook us up.
With a keg. We could crush a keg of this.
Tyler, if you're listening, please, go hook us up.
You ain't listen.
Hey, come on. He likes our
I
show.
started off with the Natagassert Lager, High Neighbor. It was, very serviceable lager beer.
Man in honor, soul on merit.
That's right. And then I also had the Citrus Seltzer IPA with raspberry and lime ale brewed with natural flavor. It was fucking fantastic. I love it. I also do love it. I do. Social media, where can they find us?
Mark?
They
They can get us at...
Oh, Souls, you want to take a stab at it?
Nah.
All right. You can find us on Facebook. Yes, absolutely on Spreaker. All the time. Facebook and Twitter.
Spreaker.
At Getting Sports with Drunk.
Spreaker.
Yeah.
Spreaker.
Getting Sports with Spreaker.
Getting Sports with Spreaker.
You can also find us at Getting Spreaker with Drunk.
Twitter at GSWD_4.
Make sure you use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's enjoying a nice 2.2 Seltzer IPA or Spreaker.
That's right. Wherever you listen to your online radio shows, your podcasts, be it iHeartRadio, be it Google Play, iTunes, you name it, we are there.
Spreaker, we're on Spreaker.
And especially on Spreaker. When we are on the Monday nights.
SPREAKER, Spreaker.
Monday nights when we are live from 8-ish.
7-8-ish.
We're
We're on when it's dark.
Yeah. Until about 10, 11-ish. 12
After dark.
We're on.
I love it.
So we appreciate you guys listening.
Spreaker.
Tune in. Please comment. We're not doing Facebook all the time anyway. We just,
Throw the fucking ball to Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah. All right. Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have plenty of fun stuff, some week two discussion, and not as heavy on the NFL stuff. That was more of like a week one, like vibes kind of thing.
Yeah, well, we still got the baseballs going on.
Yeah, we're going to wind down baseball pretty soon. Hockey. And
October 5th?
don't act like you tried.
I saw the commercials today.
Yeah, okay, so it was by accident. It's not like you actually get over.
No.
Yup.
I watched
I saw the
television.
commercial while I was watching the Saints game here. But NBA is coming up soon. I think we're about a month away from preseason on that. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. We got lots to talk about, lots to do. Until then, though, I'm your hostess, Cupcake, the Riddler. Nope.
My soul's at.
The Maskers Massey.
And I'm the Red Baron.